Hey, welcome, guys. We are back here again for another episode of Access Vegas. Like I said, we're going to do 4 weeks in a row. This is the second. We got next week, the 20th, and then we're not doing one on the 27th.
Yeah.
So this is the third week in a row. We've done it. We're really excited, man. This has been great. At first, we were worried about, are we going to be able to get girls to come on this? And now I have to cancel girls every week, but you guys were awesome. I'm really glad that all of you were able to show up this week.
All of them showed up here in studio before this guy did.
Yes. I was
That's
doing
a first.
I was doing a little Jonah Hill research because of all the abuse that he was causing people. I had to look that up before I came here. So we're going to go ahead and introduce our guest. First off, she is a model, a fitness coach. She is, you can see her on the pages of Playboy and FHM. It is Jody T. Hart. Jody, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
Hey, good to have fine to have Jody here. You live in Las Vegas, right?
I do.
Beautiful, awesome. She's an actress. She's a writer. She's a podcaster. It is Jen Garcia. How's it going, Jen?
Really good, really good.
Nice. She's a model. She's a fitness influencer. It is Stephanie. How's it going, Stephanie?
Good. How are you?
Nice. All right, here we go. Let's keep it going. She is a former Playboy model. She's an influencer, and she is part of the Cocktail Servers Hall of Fame. This is Jessie Preston. How's it going, Jessie?
Hi.
Hey, Jessie. Congratulations for getting your boobs taken out. That's a good job there.
I feel so much better.
She's gone completely natural. That's good.
Real flat chested.
She went super flat. I remember she used to have boobs back in the day.
Something's missing though.
Something exactly.
Empty now.
She's an ex-bottle service girl. She works 1,000 feet down in a mine right now, and she can deadlift
in a coal mine.
She can deadlift 370 pounds. It's Ashley. How's it doing, Ashley?
Doing good.
There she is. Good to have her right there. He is an entrepreneur. He retired in 2006. He is a single-action pistol competitor. That's where you shoot these targets while riding on a horse. And he is a worldwide published photographer. Please welcome Barry Nadell, the weekend cowboy himself. How's it going, Barry?
Thank you.
Good to have you, man. And then finally, we have she sells real estate and she is a sex therapist because those two things go together. It is Christina Rizanova. How's it going, Christina?
Good. How are you?
Nice. Beautiful. All right. We're glad to have everybody on here. I'm going to let you go with the opening volley. I said this before.
Man.
I said this before on Threads.
We're going to have a debate.
So here's the debate.
Okay.
I believe Jonah Hill did nothing wrong.
You guys are all familiar with Jonah Hill.
With the
What's
Jonah
going
Hill
on
situation.
right now? Okay, we're
I believe. Hold on, time out. Let me finish. I'm going to state because this is what we're going to debate. I believe he did nothing wrong, and I believe what's her name? Sarah Brady. Sarah Brady was not only was she 100% wrong, I'm going to show you how she did further socioeconomic damage to the entire world. I think what she did was horrific. And I'm going to go, because there's details I promise you guys don't even know, especially the breakup text messages that she had. Mm-hmm. What she did was so fucking insidious. But I'm going to leave it up to where we read it all. Okay. And the other thing is the number of people who have had an opinion on this, who have not read the text messages, is shocking to me. And whenever I see the reaction videos from therapists online, they never read the messages, and there's a reason why. Go ahead. What do you think?
And the reason why they are so shocked by it is because they're using therapist language in all of this entire
Well, they're saying he's using therapist
language. He's using therapist language. And, of course, I think he's trying to resolve this problem sort of like in a logical, sensible way and using this language to do so. And I just did about a 40-minute podcast. I was doing some shorts today, and Glenn said, hey, why don't we do something on the Jonah Hill thing? So we started talking about this, and from my initial understand, now I have not seen the text, or I have not seen what you're going to reveal to us today, but my initial read on this is that they're kind of both in the wrong. So I'm not saying he's 100% right, she's wrong. I think the way he handled it was wrong. Is he in the right for doing, trying to set boundaries? That's the thing is in our communities, in the sort of the manosphere red pill communities, guys want to jump on automatically and say, look, here's a guy who's trying to man up, he's trying to set boundaries and everything, and she's not acting accordingly. And then, of course, the opposite side of it is the women's and the therapists seem to think that this guy is horribly misogynistic, horribly manipulative, very possessive, very controlling, maybe even codependent. And, throw out as many therapist adjectives as you can possibly, apply to him. But so there's that side, and you're probably right. They haven't read, or they're not in full possession of the facts of what's been going on. Now, to put this in proper context, remember that a lot of this happened a year ago. This is a long time in the past, okay? And now suddenly these are being leaked because Jonah Hill is with a new woman right now, and they just had a baby together.
So I just want to point this out. She leaked them right after his fiance had a baby. I'm going to say this for the second time because I'm sure most of you didn't know that.
Yeah.
These things were magically leaked right after they had a baby. And I'm sure you guys probably think the breakup was acrimonious. And I'm going to show you that it wasn't. She was actually very happy when they broke up. And they had no contact since then. And then all of a sudden, he has a baby with someone else. And all of a sudden, these things need to be leaked.
Bam.
I'm sorry. No excuse for this. But anyway, keep going.
So my initial read on this, and I'll just read the super chat. Thanks, real quick. I'll take care of this one. Toff says, Rolo, do you think? And thanks for the $20 super chat. Rolo, do you think that the Jonah Hill situation is an example of the importance of demonstrate, do not explicate? Absolutely. It's exactly what I got into on my show earlier this morning. Also, do you believe that he was establishing boundaries or just giving ultimatums? Is there a difference? I think that the way he handled it, I don't think he was like trying to establish boundaries. I think what he was doing was he has, we talked about this on the green room yesterday. I think he's got fat guy syndrome is what he's got. And I'm just being honest here. Okay. You got to remember Jonah Hill has always struggled with his weight. In recent months, he's, trimmed down a bit, but he still looks like the dude from the Big Lebowski. Let's just be honest. Okay. Also, and I don't care if he's a, Oscar-nominated actor. I don't care how much money he makes. I know that he rubs elbows with guys like Leonardo DiCaprio. I got it. He's not an A-list celebrity, but he's an A-minus list celebrity. He's okay. I mean, what has he done recently? But besides Superbad and like Wolf of Wall Street, can you name anything that he's done?
It's the one with the
Netflix
people.
movie?
The Netflix movie.
The one with the people.
Yeah.
He did a racial movie.
My read on this whole thing is this guy. Now remember his wife his girlfriend Sarah Brady. She is a surf instructor. Okay, she's in good shape. She deals with guys who look like Matthew McConaughey in Point Break. Okay, so if she's out, and that's her business. And I'm not saying she's right or wrong in doing that. That's what she does. That's what she does. However, he's has a real problem with her being with these guys and showing her ass off on Instagram and everything else that goes along with this. So when
Sorry. Hey, what do you guys need to turn your phone all the way down?
somebody needs to put their phone off.
Phone to 0 volume.
We got that.
All right, keep going.
Yeah. So, anyways, the long and the short of it is,
This is fine.
my initial read on this is that the guy's kind of got this sort of insecurity about his body weight and how he looks, and he's going out with Sarah, who actually is a surfer, and she looks like she's a swimmer's body, and she also does modeling for Surf Magazine, so there's a sort of a glamour aspect of it as well. So she gets endorsements. And so, I mean, she had a career before all this, and he knew what he was getting into. Let's just, full disclosure here. But I think that a lot of this was sort of a buildup over the time that they were together. And, he's saying, hey, I don't want you to, show your ass off to these guys. If you're with me, you're not with them. It comes back to what I always say about like how men can be in the closed on his end and open on her end, meaning that she's still advertising herself. And sometimes women have to advertise themselves because that's what they do for a living. So advertising sexuality, being sexy all the time. There's probably not a woman at this table that has. I've seen all your Instagrams. Thank you very much. I did all this right here. So I know that it's having a guy who is sort of has a problem with that. That conversation is difficult to have, especially when a guy who's clingy, he's kind of a little bit more blue pill and beta about everything, and especially the guy who's struggling with his weight constantly. So if you're being run down by really good-looking guys, by like I said, Point Break guys, that's gonna wear down on a guy who hasn't really sort of gone all the way with his maturity, I guess.
Yeah. I do care that he's a or A- list celebrity. And I'll tell you why, because we wouldn't give a fuck about this if he wasn't. We wouldn't be talking about this, and she wouldn't be trying to grab clout off this if she wasn't. Also, if she was a he and he was a she, and she was trying to proclaim boundaries on him, this would not be an issue. And those therapists saying that these are not boundaries, this is controlling. I guarantee you, every one of the therapists that we're going to show you here in a little bit, if we flip the script, they would not say that these are boundaries, because women absolutely, and I don't disagree with this, have the right to have preferences as boundaries. The problem is that men seem to not be allowed to have that right as well. So here's the thing. If we are in a situation, and by the way, you know what, let's do this. I'm going to read the message. I put it on that thing that I gave you. I just added it to the very top, the actual text. And we're going to go through some text. So raise your hand if you have not read the text. You guys don't know. That's fine. That's great. I love this that you guys.
I'll let you read these.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I've got the links.
These are from Jonah Hill. Ready? And the one, it says, let's just go to it goes, literally just saying hello to leave the combo. I love how your therapist thinks I suck. I literally am one of the best boyfriends on earth. Okay, that's what he's saying. And then it goes here. This is, by the way, how do we know about this? She posted this on an IG story and she screenshot one after another. All right, she says, plain and simple. This is what Jonah says to her. He goes, if you need surfing with men, if you need surfing with men. By the way, he did not say, I can't have you, or don't do this, or you stupid bitch, stop doing this. He did not say that. He said, if you need, trust me, nobody wants you to read these messages. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless relationships with friends, with men. Again, I have a girlfriend who was a bartender, and she's currently a bikini model. I have no problem with her in a bikini. I understand she understands that's what the business is, and that is her business, okay? To model, to post pictures of yourself in bathing suits. Now, when she surfs, that is not the bathing suit he's talking about. She does not surf in a bikini. That's not what she's doing. She's taking thirst trap photos as if she is single. And again, there's nothing wrong, ladies, if you want to do that. There's nothing wrong if you want to do that if you have an OnlyFans. There's nothing wrong if you want to do that and you have an OnlyFans and you and your husband fuck on OnlyFans. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is the two of you are in a relationship together and you're both allowed to express boundaries.
Was she doing that before?
I don't know if she was doing this before specifically, but my point is this. Ladies, have you ever been in a relationship with a guy and he changed? Has that ever happened?
Yeah.
No, raise your hand.
Yes.
You've been in a relationship with a change.
Yes.
Right, he's a narcissist. But that's your fault that he changed, right? Is that your fault?
Is it my fault?
Is it your fault he changed?
No.
Oh, wait a second. Jody, is that your fault that he changed?
No.
Oh, Ashley, was it your fault that he changed? You should. You're saying you shouldn't be held accountable for him changing. Is that correct?
Correct.
Jesse, is it your fault that he changed? No. Okay, so it's not his.
Before you continue, ladies, did he actually change, or was he always like that? And it just took time to find out that he was really always
right. But he may have given you a facade initially to say whatever the lover, whatever the fuck. I'm not even saying it's true or not true. My point is, when ladies say that men changed, they don't feel that they are accountable for the change. But for some reason, in this case, we're all saying he knew what he was getting into. We don't know that. Yeah. We don't know that he wasn't going around gripping other girls. And I have a hard time believing that initially, when she's going to date this A-list celebrity, that she's going around flirting with other men. I think after a while, when she understood how far she could push the boundaries, she started to test him. Right. And that's essentially what happened. Right. That is not his fault, which is why I'm sticking with what I said initially. None of this is his fault. Going to the next thing. Posting pictures of yourself in a bathing suit to post sexual pictures. Friendships with women who are in unstable places from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. He doesn't have a problem with them being friends with them. It's just in a situation where if you have friends, I don't know if you guys have ever lived in LA, there's some people who do some fucking coke out there. They get crazy as shit. And like real talk, let me tell you something, fellas, ladies, you can tell me if I'm wrong here. If I have a girlfriend and I don't want her hanging around girls that I know sleep with other dudes for money, does that make me bad? Am I controlling?
No.
Okay, one more time. To friendships with women who are in unstable places from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee with someone respectful. Listen, here's what he said. At no point does he say you're a hoe. At no point he says I hate you. No one he says, here's where I want you to read this, because no one else will read this for you.
You don't get to dictate what I do with my friends, though.
Right, but then we can break up. And I understand what you're saying, but But you can go to a bar with your friends. But my point is, if your friend is doing something,
he's dictating to her. You can go to coffee with your hoe friends, but nothing more than that.
Right,
that's the boundary.
But what if he didn't want you? What if you didn't want your man hanging out with his ex?
Do you remember how you guys have talked so many times about like some girls are delusional about what they want, their demands in men? He's allowed 100% to be delusional in what he wants.
There you go.
But you cannot sit there and dictate to someone a year into a relationship now what they can wear, what they can do. You can't do that.
But he's not.
She has the option to leave.
This is what's so insidious about this. The first line is if you need. He's not dictating shit.
But he's putting it on her. He's saying if you need to put accountability on her. So he washes his hands. Like, if you need to be a hoe, then be a hoe. That's not
okay. So Jesse, if you and I were dating and you had a guy friend who, maybe he used to flirt with you, and whenever he comes around, he just has this commonality thing where he just grabs your ass. Every time he does it, or he hugs you and it's a little too long and he gets some side boob. And I said, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you doing this. When you're with these guy friends, I would appreciate if they would not grab your ass.
He's axed. He's asked.
Right, but that's just as I love how you think
up a scenario. You have no idea if that's actually the situation.
But neither do you, and that's my point here.
It was women, like that point.
Yeah, he sounds like
he was talking about women.
Yeah, but he was also talking about guys. He said,
I understand the guy bullet, but the other one was about.
Okay, hold on. Do you see? Hold on. This is my point. Do you see how we're all coming up with different reasons why he could be right or wrong? This is their motherfucking relationship, and we're posting these things after he had a baby with someone else.
Yeah,
she's 100% in the wrong.
Yeah.
Girls, make sure you're talking into the mic. Ready? So let's keep going this. He goes, so the first part is if you need, and then it was XXXXX, and it goes, I am not the right partner for you. Right. Not move your shit out of my place. I am not the right partner for you. Mm-hmm. Guys, you know what an ultimatum is? An ultimatum is a threat, usually one that you can't carry out. Do you know what happened after this? He broke up with her. This is not an ultimatum. It was an if-then statement in programming. That's what this was. This is absolutely stating a boundary. This is not threatening, and this is certainly not controlling.
The only thing I would say is he should have done it earlier.
Thank you.
Correct. I agree with that too.
Establish these boundaries from the very beginning. If she's been surfing the whole time.
Again, while we're saying that, we don't know that one, that he didn't, and two, we don't know that she changed.
But you're defending
she might be choosing the parts that are bad.
You're defending the aspect as if it was already something.
But it may have been or may not have been. You know about one of my relationships I had where she flipped 180 degrees. It was crazy. It just happens.
And she might be choosing the parts that are going to make her point.
Yes. By the way,
but we don't know this. We don't know if he warned her in different ways long before that.
Yes,
we don't know.
And then she went off the rails, and now he's ready to break up with her. But
the thing that gets me is the going out with your hoe friends. Like if you have to party with the people from your past, and if you have to do anything more than a coffee, it's disrespectful. That aspect of it is
beautiful. Then let's break up.
Because I want to go out with someone who has a different
but the thing is, we're life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Let's just break up then. Let's just break up.
But what if we're not even doing anything wrong with our hoe friends?
Yeah.
Huh?
What if we're just going to the hookah lounge?
No. Again. I live in Las Vegas too. I live in Las Vegas too. There's no way. When you and I are on stage at some nightclub, there's girls around there that probably had sex for money, and we're not going to just fucking shun them.
And we're the sober ones.
Yeah, we're the sober ones. I'm not saying this is right for me.
Right.
My girlfriend can post whatever she wants in bikinis because she's a bikini model. I met her as a bikini model. I knew that, and if she changed and started letting men touch her, I would write her a message similar to this.
We don't know if that's the situation.
Did he state that she changed? Did he state that she changed?
Whether or not she stated or did he change or not, because Jonah Hill's not going to talk about this, which is the smartest thing to do.
Right.
The point is, whether or not he changed or not, they broke up amicably.
Okay.
And there was no acrimony between the two of them. And then he had a baby with someone else. And then she posted this. That's my point.
I just feel like there's not enough information.
That's the information.
There's debate about it.
We're not halfway done.
So you have a problem with the timing.
Ready? So I have a problem with the timing of this. The timing of this tells me
I got a greater problem than this, and it's more to your point. But
okay, here we go. Ready?
Here we go.
I am not the right partners for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it. God damn, what an asshole. Can you believe he said that? If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it. What a manipulative fuck. Can you believe she had to date this multi-millionaire A-list celebrity who asked her to not flirt with other men? What a piece of shit.
I think you're reading it in a clear mind. I think she's reading it and also delivering it back to us and a manipulative mean.
500% wrong then. She's 500% wrong.
But I think she's interpreting it as him being condescending.
Then she's even more wrong then.
Yeah.
Because she posted this.
I'm just saying.
Right here, let's keep going.
That's what I was saying.
He goes, one more time. I love this. I'm going to make it.
We can all read it in 5 different ways.
I'm gonna make a T-shirt for this. Ready? If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it. I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says that. Okay.
Oh Lord,
all right.
Michael.
And ready? Here we go. Listen to the threats here. And there will be no hard feelings. Oh my God! What a fucking asshole! Look at all this. He's just digging a hole for himself.
You know what the therapists say? That's passive aggressive.
That's so passive aggressive.
I think that's how she's probably reading it, which we don't know still.
Again, watch when we play these later. Notice how what I just read never gets read.
Do you think that he anticipated? I'm a celebrity. This might get out. Let me be as.
If you're telling me if you're telling me first off
I'm going to say outlandish things to her.
First off, you saying the conjecture that they went to therapists together. In fact, she starts complaining, and one of the therapists we're going to show starts complaining about their therapist, saying their therapist is toxic because their therapist advised him to do the shit he's actually doing. The therapist even agreed. You didn't know that, did you? This is so one-sided. It's unbelievable. Let's keep going.
The very fact that you're in therapy with your girlfriend,
bro,
dude, that's last stop before told.
Here we go.
Seriously, stop. It's like at that point, this should have been just.
I love this. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. These are my boundaries.
That's great.
How dare you say that these are boundaries? You're trying to control her. Jody, if we're married and I say I would appreciate if your ex-boyfriend didn't like kiss you on the neck whenever we hung out. Am I trying to control you?
That's so extreme. That's not what's being said.
No. Stop. Here's the thing. The point what you're saying is because you guys clearly see that's disrespectful. You're saying but if I say if I use the same language, for this, it's controlling. But if I were to copy and paste and put when this guy touches you on the butt, all of a sudden that's not controlling. That's a boundary.
I feel like
all of them are boundaries. You not fucking other men while we're in a relationship is a boundary. It's not controlling. And me deciding that I don't want my girlfriend to go hang out with certain groups of people, she has every right to break up with me. Like it says here, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that it says in the preamble of the Constitution.
I'm not agreeing with you. What I'm saying is your examples are very extreme.
No. I'm sorry. That's my fault. My examples are extreme to show. So sometimes when you do programming, you can take a piece of text and then put it in for another piece of text. Okay. I'm saying let's run the same program, but let's switch out the text and keep everything the same. And all of a sudden, this thing that was controlling becomes a boundary like that. But it's not. It's the same thing.
I agree with your boundary aspect. I agree with what you're saying. I agree with his boundary.
All of them are boundaries.
I agree with him setting his boundary. But when you start to talk about your example sounds so extreme.
No. I'm sorry. I'm using hyperbole to show the if-then. So if we were to switch X with Y, the variables, all of a sudden, just a change of words goes from one thing from a boundary to control it. Mm-hmm. So it was controlling, but now when I say I don't want a man to grab your butt, now it's a boundary because that's rational. But then what happens when it's not rational? What happens when it comes to the point where she wants to go have sex with other men and she's made it clear that that's what makes her happy and you should respect that boundary, and you telling her to not have sex with other men, because I guarantee you these therapists that you're about to see would absolutely say that shit. No, you should respect her. You should respect her control. You're just trying to control her.
I think what we would as women would think that he's talking about if we were against him would be more of the example of when you're done surfing and you get off the board and you go and you start giving high fives to dudes. I don't like when you do that because
there's photos of them she's competing and she's hugging one of the other competitors.
I understand that, but
that's
I'm
the
saying
issue. There is some context we've lost there as well.
As a woman, we think that as a controlling man, if he says, "I don't like when you give high fives to dudes because they're congratulating you on doing a good job," that's to us, we're like, "What's a high five?"
But in most sports, don't they?
No audio. Hey, we have the microphone's not working here.
Let me while they fix that. Let me explain something to you about boundaries, because I was talking about. I've harped on this for a very long time. Boundaries mean nothing unless there is some sort of consequence to those. Okay,
but that's controlling, though, dude. That's controlling.
No, it's not controlling.
Why are you controlling people?
So here's the thing. So I'm going to use another extreme example. The guys have hit me up all the time. They'll say, "Rollo, my girlfriend or my wife, whatever she wants, she comes to me and she says, hey, I want to go and have a girls' weekend out in Vegas. So I want to go have a girls' night out. I want to go and do these things. Is that okay with you? Are you okay with that?" And really, that's really more in a relationship sense. That's a shit test. Okay. It's not about the permission. It's not about whether or not you're okay with it or not. It's the fact that she wants to go in the first place. So what I tell guys is say, yeah, sure, have fun. You go out with your girlfriends. That's what you want to do. Sure, go ahead, honey. I support that, right? She comes back, all her shit's on the sidewalk, and all the locks in the doors.
And I agree with you. I think that I think in the modern day age, a lot of women, and sometimes men don't understand what a real boundary is. Because I have to admit, for me too, before I started to understand podcasts and red pill and all that stuff and what a feminist is, which I'm not a feminist, but all that stuff, I didn't realize I really was pushing my ex-boyfriend's boundaries, and I thought he was being controlling or insecure, and I would call him that. And I was really thinking to myself, man, I really do need to look at what I'm doing because, so a woman's brain is, I'll give you an example. I go out somewhere. This is a real, true life example. Me and my girlfriend sitting at the bar. She knows a celebrity, right? Wiz Khalifa. So she's like, "Oh my God, that's my really good friend." We go to his hotel, and I'm like a little uncomfortable. I don't like to be a groupie. I'm sitting next to him. There's a picture taken. I look like I'm fucking him. I'm not doing a damn thing. Yeah. But immediately, it doesn't matter. The whole world will think I'm having sex with him.
Such a great point. Jody, Katrina, you guys are out one time, all right? And you just go out to dinner, whatever, and you're walking out of Katana, and you happen to be walking next to Drake, and someone takes a picture on TMZ. Who believes you didn't fuck him?
Exactly.
No, I'm being serious. Who believes you didn't fuck him?
No one.
If you make a post the next day swearing, I didn't even come there with him, I had no idea he was there. Yep. 95% of people will still assume you had sex with him.
The very fact that you put that on there means you did.
So then there's an argument between you two, and you're trying to explain, like, I just went for my friend. I only came for like 2 hours, and I left because I felt uncomfortable. It doesn't matter. I'm in my head, my female brain, I'm like, but I didn't do anything wrong. Why are we even fighting about this? Not that big of a deal.
Because you didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly.
You're right. You just embarrassed him. That's the problem.
Exactly. Which, again, I never understood until...
Well, see, my point is this, is when we're talking about boundaries, I don't want to be with a woman who I have to explain those boundaries in the first fucking place.
We hate telling men what our
I want you to know me and be so into me and have such genuine desire for me that you're like, you know what? I don't really want to go to this girl's night out. I think it would be a much better idea to stay at home and fuck my husband, fuck my boyfriend, whatever, because I'm really into him. He's the guy for me, man. He's the one whose babies I want to have.
As soon as a girl chooses that, they always think like I'm losing my independence, but they don't understand being dependent on a man is not a negative thing. It's actually what you're supposed to do, because when you're in a relationship, you're slightly dependent on each other.
Of course.
You know, so you're dependent on her to bring something to what she brings to the table. You're dependent on him to protect you and give you safety. And I think that at this modern day of age, being dependent is looked at as this negative thing, like, oh my God.
Actually, I'll take it one further, because we're going to talk about Adam 22 later. If he was fine with her fucking other dudes, I wouldn't care. That's not my point. I don't give a shit about any of that. The thing is, we are both in a contract with each other. Yeah. When the contract has statements and stipulations in the contract, if we both agree to those contracts, they are boundaries. But as soon as you don't like the stipulations, then I'm controlling you. Right. No, then you can leave. And he gave her the easiest, smoothest pathway to leave. And several times says, if that's what makes you happy, I support it. That's the thing. When he says the correct words, because he's a man trying to assert his boundaries, he's being manipulative. What if he's just trying to assert his boundaries? Even if his boundaries are unreasonable. If this was an Islamic man who wanted her to wear hijab, several Christian women would be like, get the fuck out of my face. I'm not going to do that. And you have the right to leave.
He has the right to have his boundaries. 100%. He has the right to have his boundaries. And nothing that he said in that screenshot was outlandish.
Was it abuse?
Me,
was it abuse?
Except for if you need to be friends with the hoes and stuff. That's the only part that I was like, what the fuck?
What I do with
I'm not in charge of what my friends do in their personal lives.
Was that hold on real quick? Was that abuse? Have you guys heard abuse so far?
No.
Oh, get ready for this one. Get ready for the fucking dynamite. Go ahead.
You know, Michael, there's a lot of guys that are too insecure to break up with a woman themselves.
Sure.
What they want to do is lay it out so the woman breaks up with him. And that's what they're hoping for.
I just feel like,
or even another forward, what will happen is they'll say that, but then disrespect follows, and that's when the narcissism or the abuse, verbal, because they don't want to break up. They just want to control.
I was on this show when Zerko was here and Adam was here, and I was explaining the differences between Adam Lyons.
Adam Lyons, he was here last week.
I was explaining the difference in how, because this really comes back to how we form relationships right now. The relationship that Jonah Hill thought he had with this girl is closed on his end and closed on her end, but it's not. The most common arrangement is closed on his end, thinking that it's closed on her end, but it's open on her end, because we live in the age of social media, Instagram, Tinder, OnlyFans, you name it. So the availability, the advertising of that availability online right now opens it up so that she can advertise her availability or sexuality to guys. Now, whether that's their career or not is kind of immaterial to this. The guy thinks that she's going to have closed on her end and closed on his end. The problem is it's actually always going to be open on her end, because she always is going to be able to, she has the out of saying, well, you're being manipulative. You're turning me into a monster because I can't talk to my friends. What are you saying? Why are you being so judgmental? I didn't go fuck that guy. I just hugged him.
Let's do this real quick, because you two are married, Jesse and Jody. You both
not to each other.
Yeah,
but I was like, wait, what?
We can imagine. We can imagine. It's okay.
I wouldn't mind.
It's a new
I wouldn't mind. You know, I love blonde.
Listen,
so.
maybe not all of LGBT, but L for sure. L. I'm down with L. L is I support L. I will wear that L flag day and night.
Same.
I will be out there. By the way, do you know there's a polygyny flag? It is. It's pink with blue in the middle and pink. There is a polygyny flag. I'm gonna be putting the polygyny flag in my house.
Is that open man?
Yeah, it's a man. It's a man with two. It's a man with two women.
How we like
That's
it.
polygyny. So it's pink with blue in the middle and pink.
That's how I like it.
100% polygyny.
Open on his end.
I will
Close
march
on
in a
their
goddamn
end.
pride parade with that polygyny flag.
There you go.
Right? In 2 seconds. Ready? Here we go. So Jody, the thing is, you do post pictures. Were you married when you posed in Playboy?
Yes.
Okay, and you posed. Okay, you were actually married when you posed in Playboy as well.
Do it, yeah.
And you guys both understood that was the case, and your husbands understood it at the time. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I think yours might have been. Was yours a little acrimonious about it?
He pushed me to do it. His
Okay,
mom
that's right. He pushed me to do it. So
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
you notice in that case, I'm not criticizing either one of you because you had an understanding in the relationship what was going to happen, and that was totally fine. Okay, that was it. Now here's the second part. This is what he's talking about here. Jody, if you and your husband broke up, who would have more of an ability to meet new partners quicker, you or your husband?
Well, me.
But how much more? If you were gonna put a percentage, how much more? How many more partners? Do you think?
Really?
How many more partners? Huh?
Thousands of
How many
percent.
more partners?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
percentage?
potential partners. Potential. How many more? And the answer is what you think it is. It's an insane number. I'm saying it's. I'm saying it's 10. I'm saying it's 10,000 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jesse, same thing.
What?
If you and your man broke up, your man's a pretty good looking guy,
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
but maybe 5,000 to 1, 500 to 1.
What are you asking me?
How many more potential partners could you quickly garner compared to him?
God, no. I don't know. I don't know. He's a very good-looking dude, and I'm
Okay, cool, but
not
it's
me.
more.
I
But
don't
it's
know.
more. You would have more than him.
Because I'm a woman. Men are
There you go. That's the point. No, that's the point. That's the point. That's the point. It's evolutionary psychology. Yes, that's the point. Because you're a woman, that's fine. I'm not saying it's double standard, but that's his point. It's like the thing is, we cannot be equal on both sides. For him to go out and be this big movie star, as long as he's faithful to her with his penis, that's one thing. For her to go out and flirt with other dudes, that's very different because her ability, like the men are going to seek and try to be with her. So you guys understand
So
why
he
it's
doesn't
different?
do any love scenes. He doesn't kiss anybody else. He doesn't do anything
Well,
that he takes his clothes off.
So him doing now
Nothing,
here's
right?
two things. Him doing a love scene would be for his work, but if she had a problem with it, and women have left men in the acting industry for this reason, she has the right to leave him. She has the right to leave him. Jesse.
But it sounds like when Rolo was saying closed on this end and closed on this end, it sounds like it's closed on his end, and then it has to be double closed on her end.
Well,
double
like
down on that shit.
double
Yeah.
Okay, let
closed.
me explain something to you. So when men and women are coming together, men are the ones who are like the salesmen. I got to sell you on my quality. I got to look good. I got to 6'6", man, 6 foot tall, 6-pack abs,
Yes,
6-figure
yes,
income,
yes.
12-inch cock, whatever. Yeah. So okay. So I'm the pitch man. I have to convince you. Now that's how men work in the sexual marketplace. Women, on the other hand, advertise. So it's like, I look good. Here I am with my cute outfit on Instagram. Here I am on this yacht party. I'm with Drake. I'm with here, and here's my hot spread for FHM, whatever the hell it is. Advertising. So all you have to do is say, come and get it, boys. That's my availability. Men are the pitchmen, men are the salesmen, women are the advertisers.
It's
the problem is
so much harder for us to get into a cheating situation than it is for
the
you.
problem with that is when it's closed on his end and it's closed on her end, he's expected to stop pitching. He's expected to stop selling it, right? Because if he's flirting with a waitress, what do we call a guy who's out there actively trying to get with other women when he's in another relationship?
Tiger Woods.
We call him we call that guy a cheater. We call that guy
We do
unfaithful,
call him a cheater.
infidelity. But we don't call it infidelity when a woman is in the same situation and she's still, whether it's because she has to generate revenue or whatever else, where she's still advertising her sexuality out there because she's still in the marketplace. Well, he is expected to not be in the marketplace.
as long
he
as
has to
she
stop
doesn't go
selling,
too
but
far.
she doesn't have to stop advertising.
If he's generating revenue too, then it's
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, in the rare case that the guy's a gigolo, yes, okay, you might have a case. You might have a point.
It's not rare here. It's not rare in Las Vegas. All right, here we go. Ready? So the last line here. My boundaries with you, based on these ways these actions have hurt our trust. Okay, I think he misspelled a little bit of that. So we're going to go here, and this is the next part full of this abusive language. Listen to more abuse that he gives.
You're going to read this.
You guys ready? Right. Nor may I ever want that from my partner, and I reserve the right, and I'm open about it. let me know. We'll respect you either way. God, I can't believe this piece of shit. We'll respect you either way. But these are my boundaries of this romantic relationship. Thanks. I'd love to know before the premiere, so I'm not put in the position of publicly flaunting our love. If my boundaries are going to be continue to be disrespected, that would be hurtful and triggering for me. And she says understood. Aww. She says understood, by the way, guys. And I think that's another part that's lost. She said understood, and then here's the only one people read. Here's the only one you ever see, and they still don't even read this. Take some accountability and operate with respect. It's that simple. Oh, actually, no, I already read that one. Because I'm tired of your attitude towards the surf culture, that contest, and that place, because I deserve respect, period. I have been more patient, and the shit like this is still here. Fuck that contest, fuck that place, fuck not respecting me. Always in every situation within the surf culture, you don't get it, you don't get me, get it. I don't know if you get it or care or give a shit about that shit more than even after Dr. Stern said it out loud. Dr. Stern was the couples therapist.
It's a lot.
Right. I see why she was disrespectful.
Okay, here we go. It's just constant and doesn't reflect where we are or where you say you want to be. And I respect your skill in your surfing. Fucking asshole. I respect how you want to present yourself. I respect that you're hot and you're beautiful.
There it is. That's fat guy speak.
And I respect, however,
that's fat guy
and I respect, however,
that.
You want to live.
Bad news.
But I also respect myself, and that's what I'm interested in my own life, and what I let into my heart in my inner circle. So celebrate yourself and however you live, however you please, and shine bright. But I don't want to have to deal with it.
I hear the
Okay.
I hear the vaginas drying all across.
No, agreed. But is he wrong? But does that make him wrong?
Absolutely not.
Okay. One more time. I want to hear, ladies. Is this abuse?
No.
Okay, dude, trust me, because that's
calling it abuse.
Oh, get ready.
No, it is abuse. We were just abused by having to listen to this bullshit right now. My ears were abused because I'll tell you. You know who doesn't say this? Guys who fuck.
Yes.
Guys who fuck don't say this.
I mean, but do you think he doesn't fuck?
You know what they do?
So,
you know what they do? They go out and they fuck somebody else. That's what they do. They don't have the time to write poetry. What the fuck?
And that's what I was going to say. This guy is really good at communicating.
That you actually care about.
Well,
I would say they would communicate and not just go to fuck
but here's the thing: is like he's not writing a freaking doctoral thesis to say, okay, we're gonna. This is a hostage negotiation. This is negotiating for her. This is negotiating for her desire.
It was super soft.
Okay,
it
guys.
was super soft.
It was soft. They only
Super
saw
soft.
one screenshot and one person talking about it, and they changed the narrative to it, saying that she wasn't wearing a thong; she was wearing like a wetsuit, and he was calling it a thong and telling her she couldn't.
No, I'll show you the photo. There's
anymore.
photos. She's just taking pictures of her boobs and her vagina, like this, but she's wearing like a bikini, and it's just a straight up thirst trap. You don't even see her face. Like it's very. Those are the pictures he wanted taken down. By the way, if my girlfriend posted something like that, I don't care because I am dating a bikini model. I am dating a world champion bikini model. I understand that's what she does, but I get to make that fucking decision. And there's nothing wrong with me making that decision. That is my point. Let's go back to this. Ready? I'll just read the quick one here. He goes, I don't want to, by the way, this is in August of last year. So this is less than a year. This is when they break up. Remember, an ultimatum is when I make threats, hey, we're going to break up or else.
Ultimatums are a declaration of power.
But he broke up. Ready? I don't want you to bail on school. That's important. That's what he's saying to her. Hey, I know I don't need to, but the spirit of pure respect for our friendship, they're already broken up, guys. Listen to me. I don't know. I know I don't need to, but in the spirit of pure friendship, of pure respect to our friendship and appreciation for each other, I did want to be transparent that I did start dating someone else recently. I'm sorry if that is painful. It just happened, and I didn't want to not be transparent. As if I never cared about you. Thanks for letting me know. Probably the best if we don't talk for a while and you figure out where that's headed. Okay? This is several months ago. We could go on more. It goes, I appreciate and understand that. That's what, he goes, I appreciate and understand that. And he goes, impressive turnaround time, by the way. So she's upset that in August, he's already seeing someone else. So this is her saying this. Impressive turnaround, by the way. And then shows a picture of him and his new girlfriend making out on the beach. Can you just let your publicist know that ain't me? I'm trying to start a career over here.
She sounds petty.
Oh, petty. Yeah. Now it seems like we're finally getting to the point here. This was my point. None of this was true. The only point of this was to get back at him. It is very clear that she's upset. She's like, wow, you remember, he said, if you can't deal with what I need, let's break up. Then breaks up and then has the audacity to let her know, hey, out of respect, I'm gonna see someone else. And then she goes, nice turnaround time, by the way. And then when he has a baby with someone else, she has the audacity to release these fucking things. But no one will tell you this. No one wants to talk about this part.
So you have the inside scoop? How you know all this?
No, because I took some time to read it. Ready? Here goes. Ready? Here we go.
Because I actually
this is from her. Not that this is my business, but out of my own personal chicks before dicks code, if that's headed anywhere other than the hookup or fling, I'd appreciate it if you make that woman aware of how recently you've been flirting with me, sexting me, and leaning me on for partner level emotional support. By the way, he said it just happened. It's like, no, he can flirt with her all she wants. They're not in a relationship yet.
This is what happens when people like go to therapy and like it gets in their brain.
They learn jargon and then they want to use it
gaslight themselves and then they gaslight each other with the jargon and the language that they learn, so that they're fighting with like the same language that they learn in therapy.
Okay, here we go. I'm sorry if it's upsetting. This is Jonah Hill. I'm sorry if it's upsetting that I would move on at all 6 months later. But I have handled you, and I have with the utmost love, and I've handled you with the utmost love and respect. Thanks. Don't ruin all the kindness. You're better than that. And then it goes on and on. But the point I'm trying to make is, at the end, he was very much trying to let her down. 6 months after they broke up, he explained it to her. And then, by the way, she didn't release these texts. These are texts that Jonah Hill released to show what the fuck she was doing.
So where's the abuse coming into play? I'm confused.
Oh no, we'll get to that. We haven't even got to that point. My point is, I want to like, Your Honor.
These are the longest message. We're going through the whole
listen.
roll.
No, because I'm tired of like the misinformation about this. This is the most one-sided shit I've ever seen. She was very clear, because this very much thing. There's a reason why I'm so triggered. This happened to me.
I got that.
Remember, right? Okay. So I have a girlfriend. We're in a.
You are.
He's so triggered.
He came in here hot, man. He was ready to go. Coming in hot.
I was seeing someone for a number of years. She was not my girlfriend. We never settled down. We were just sort of seeing each other casually. Then one day she told me, I was seeing someone else. She was very upset about it, and I told her, I was like, this is making you way too upset to see me with other women. I think what you want is monogamy. So if you need to break it off and move on, then that's totally fine with me. I'm totally fine with that. And she does. She's married a month later, and we're totally fine. That is in July of 2019. By December of 2019, she is sending me a message basically saying, no, I'm sorry, this is in July, 2019. By December of 2020, this is during COVID, she sends me a message, happy birthday, old man. This is my 43rd birthday. She's like, happy birthday. She sent it to me on Snapchat, which is already a big fucking red flag, because she doesn't want her husband to see it. Then after she does that, I started dating a girl in December of 2020. You know who it is. And when I started dating her, I get a 10-paragraph message explaining to me how I was wrong. I wronged her, and I was a terrible person. And then a day later, I get
married woman?
I get a message. Yeah, she's married. Then a day later, I get a message apologizing for all the things she wrote in the first message, and then she proceeds to say horrible things about me. Remember, she told me happy birthday. I want to show this. When they broke up, he was very kind to her. He let her know what happened.
He's so triggered.
And now, after he moves on and he's having a baby with someone else, this woman has the audacity to say, I hope God brings him a girl.
Oh no!
Okay.
To talk about,
and if he does, he'll be a girl dad.
So she's making an appeal to the sisterhood and all that. Like, I hope he has a girl, because we all know how hard it is. Like, ladies, like that's essentially she's trying.
Woman, we broke up. You don't need to talk about my fucking children. How about that?
Ever.
Well, how about ever? So look, she's 500% in the wrong, and I haven't even got to my real problem yet. Right. We'll get to that.
Oh shit!
Okay, Mike.
By the way, shout out to Ryan Pownell from Pillow Talk. Shout out to him, because I'm going to send this to him, and shout out to Adam Sosnick, because they just did a show about this the other day, and I totally agree with this.
And I did one this earlier today, but the thing is, but Jonah Hill was out there going, "Hey, just want to let you know that I got this new piece of ass. I just wanted to make sure that we're okay with that." That's what beta males do when they're like, they feel very validated and self-righteous and like, "Hey, guess you missed out on this. You missed out on this."
So that is one way. That is one way to interpret it. Yeah. The thing is, they're both public figures, And so
he was in Superbad, by the way. That's the whole fucking.
Yeah, but my point is, as public figures, like for instance, when I broke up with my ex, I had to tell her, I was like, listen, if you start seeing someone else, please let me know so we can handle this, because it's going to be. And it ended up very bad for her because she didn't, because everyone didn't understand we'd broken up. I was like, just let me know when you want me to let everyone know that we're breaking up, because if you go off and start seeing someone else, everyone's going to hate you. And that is exactly what happened to her. Yeah. And so, like, photographers, she doesn't know this. If she's watching this, she's going to be shocked to find this out. A ton of photographers didn't want to shoot with her anymore because they thought that she had just run off. And I told the guys, I was like, no, she didn't run off. Is that why
you brought Barry on?
She didn't run off. The reality of the situation is we had broken up, and I told her, just let me know when you want to transition out of this, and like let's handle this like adults. And she wasn't able to do that, and it cost her. She doesn't realize it did, but I was not trying to be acrimonious. The point I'm trying to make is going back to this whole situation. Can we bring up go ahead
in 1 second here? So oddly enough, this reminds me. Believe it or not, there's an essay for this on the Rational Male. I wrote it's not in any book. It's called Old Flame, New Game. Okay, what happens, there were so many guys who were like coming into this space and they were learning new game and everything, and suddenly they were making something of their lives, right? But those lives were on, at the time, they were on Facebook and they were on social media, and so they would be seen with like their new girlfriends because of this. And lo and behold, all the girls that wouldn't give them the time of fucking day or broke up with them in the past, suddenly they're like sniffing around going, hey, I just was thinking about you just the other day. How's things going? Like just out of the blue.
Oh, that happened to me.
And it's like, how you doing? How you doing? You know, like they've known you from the past, and they'll come back. So these women would come and say, well, this guy has something going for him. Or if something's going rough in their relationship, they're looking for the monkey branch, right? They're looking for the soft landing. They're looking for the sure thing at the end of it.
If Kylie even posts a funny meme about relationships, she gets hit up like, "Did you guys break up? Did you guys break up? Did you guys break up? Did Michael cheat on you? Did you guys break up? Did you guys break up?" Immediately.
So somebody from your past, like maybe high school, college, whatever it is, suddenly they come sniffing around again because they're looking at you and they're thinking, well, maybe he was actually the one. And this goes back to what I've always said, is this is the alpha widow dynamic. It's women who had the guy who they go, you know what, I got this guy, but he ain't as exciting and as fun as the guy that I fucked in Cancun in the foam cannon party on spring break, and I was drunk and he was cute, and one thing led to another. And so I think he was actually, hell, they build this is the plot for romantic comedies like Eat, Pray, Love, and how Stella got her groove back. Like, I want to get back. He was actually the one. He's the one that got away. Katy Perry wrote a fucking song about it.
Rollo, let me ask you a question. I understand that the alpha widow concept, but in my case, I dated someone who women would deem too nice, square, corny. And when I got with him and we started, promoting ourselves on social media like we're together, there was an onslaught of women in his DMs. And I'm like, he's not even the alpha.
That's crazy.
They're not alpha widows.
Someone should teach a course about this. Someone should teach MOAmentoring.com. MOAmentoring.com.
As soon as a beautiful woman dates a guy that's kind of like a beta, all of a sudden you elevate him because they start seeing you post him and you going out with them. All of a sudden, girls are like, I can imagine him with me, and they want that.
Even when they didn't want him to begin with.
Shar, this is our new advertisement. Shar, this is our new Facebook ad right here. What the girls just said. Thank you, ladies, for making me money.
There's actually studies on that where it's like women would find a man more attractive if they knew he was taken or he was married.
Oh my God!
It's proof of concept.
Ready? If you guys
someone else decided to consolidate it on him, then they're going to go.
If you guys want to take a second, look it up. It's called mate choice copying from evolutionary biology, and it actually affects evolutionary psychology as well. You see a woman again. The guy, I keep forgetting his name. The one that was dating Kim Kardashian, the weird looking comedian, Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson.
And fucking everybody else.
Pete Davidson has absolutely no chance with these women if he hadn't already. Once he got that first domino with Selena Gomez or whoever's he's dating, the first one, it starts rolling downhill. Whoever he dates after Kim Kardashian, I guarantee will be a 10, and the girl after that will be, because that's the way pre-selection
girls talk, and he's probably got a 10-inch personality.
It's not even because they like him. It's not even because they like him. It's just because of the status
relevant.
of the women.
They're relevant.
Yeah,
they don't
like him generally.
He is a new $70,000 Himalaya. Yeah. That's what he is. He's a Birkin Himalaya that you get to go around.
I had a boyfriend that was 5'4", literally like super pale white. He had a really nice body, but every girl
you kind of have to at 5'4".
Oh yeah, and I'm 5'10", and I'm 6'3" with my heels on, and we'll go out. He'll be holding my hand, and I kid you not, girls will just come up to him when I go to the bathroom, try to flirt with him, slide in his DMs. How could you be with her? Come with me. Like, it was so weird. And I'm like, well, you're welcome.
Someone should teach a course about this. Someone should teach a course about this phenomenon.
It's starting to sound like Jonah Hill's ex is the narcissist, actually.
Crazy. Incredible. So you guys ready? You guys ready? I may have to leave the room for this. Can you play the clips of the reaction? Because whatever Sarah Brady did, that's on her. She's got to deal with that for the rest of her life. I personally think that what she did was devious. It's the second and third one. It'll say therapist on it in the notes that I shared with you.
Is it that guy?
Yeah, that's it. Let's go with this guy. Can we show this?
To control his girlfriend.
Can we post it up there? Can we start it over?
Yeah, hold on. I'll start. I'll bring it back. Here we go.
I'm old.
Jonah Hill was using therapy speak to control his girlfriend Sarah, his now ex-girlfriend, and it's important that we go over this misuse of therapy language, which is kind of a thing these days, and how it can be super problematic as it masks controlling behavior under a commonly accepted positive concept, in this case, boundaries, making it harder for the person on the receiving end, Sarah, to challenge it. Okay, so Jonah is basically telling his professional surfer girlfriend, I am not going to be with you if you surf with men, have boundaryless friendships with men, model, post pictures in a bathing suit, or post suggestive pictures, and are friends with women who are in unstable places. He goes on to say that these are my boundaries for a romantic relationship. Jonah's use of the term boundaries in this message is a misuse of the concept. A boundary is a healthy limit a person sets for themselves.
Keep it on. We'll play a second. That one got you heated. Watch this. Watch this.
All right. So I just want to state for the record, this guy has the most punchable face I've ever seen.
I think he's feminine. Is he gay?
We're not allowed to talk about that. Keep going. Keep going. Don't assume anything.
Maybe.
Let's look at this next guy.
Maybe. Oh, hang on. Let me drag this one over here. Put this in.
Jonah Hill wrote here is not an example of setting boundaries. Not only am I a teacher, but I'm also a therapist, so I like to educate us on why this is a good example of gaslighting. Boundaries are limits and rules and guidelines that we create in order to let others know what we are.
If your therapist has painted nails,
run. Jonah's ex-girlfriend, Sarah, her job is a surfer. That's her profession. And he knew this going into the relationship. They've been dating for a while when he sent this. Surfing with men, right? To model, to post pictures in a bathing suit. Her job requires her to get in the water. She's going to have to wear a bathing suit. And if she was a nurse, right?
I can't listen to that.
Maybe you take a picture of your scrubs. Her uniform is a bathing suit. This brings us to posting sexual pictures, right? He has other messages with her where he's upset that she took a photo of herself at what looks like a surfing competition. And her back is to the camera and she's in a bathing suit and he didn't like that. That's not a sexual photo. Also, it's her body, so... Then we have this one, friends with women that are in unstable places. She can have coffee or lunch with them, something respectful. What? Does unstable to him mean like single and independent? Because making this demand right here, then...
Okay, let's go. Sorry. Some of the ladies had to take their headphones off. Now, you guys might be saying, Michael, why are you picking... I can sit here. Why are you picking those two particular therapists? And you might say, is it because they come off as feminine? No. Those are the two most popular reactions to the whole Jonah Hill thing. Go look it up. That first one, 75,000 likes on Instagram. That's what happened. That is the narrative here. So now I'm going
in the comments.
Now I'm going to express to you why I'm really angry. The reason why I'm really angry, and this is going to surprise some of you, is because I work with domestic abuse shelters. And if you think this is fucking abuse, this is so belittling to women who actually have to deal with abuse.
I don't think it's abuse.
You are setting, of course it's not abuse, you are setting women back who really need help. You are setting them back because of these petty little things that you're sitting there and do you understand? This is now a public issue. This man is being skewered for something where he did. I'm going to say it again. You may have an opinion. You may like pickles or not like pickles. That's a preference. You may think he's wrong because you don't have the same preferences as his, but he's not wrong. He's not wrong for anything he did, and he certainly did abuse her. That's the first issue I have, is the fact that women who suffer from actual abuse are being shortchanged because of what Amber Heard did and because of shit like this. That's the first thing I have a problem with. And the second thing I have a problem with is therapy is supposed to be there to help people. And now you have set therapy back.
Yeah.
You have fucked up therapy because now a therapist, somebody who just becomes a therapist, is going to see this fucking video with 75,000 likes and be like, is that how I have to talk? Because I guarantee you, these two people sat there and said, I can't believe Johnny Depp hit Amber Heard. But he never hit her. I can't believe he was manipulative towards her like that. Do you remember what she's tried to use in court against him? He was drinking whiskey before noon and doing cocaine. Who the fuck didn't think that Johnny Depp was drinking whiskey before noon? Who, raise your hand if you didn't know that Captain Jack Sparrow wasn't drinking whiskey before noon. We all knew that. But my point is, you have set therapy back. You have set therapy back. You have made therapy a joke with this.
What are their credentials? Did they even say?
They didn't say, but here the credentials is he got 75,000 likes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's a real therapist or not.
Yep, my credentials are 75,000 likes.
The point is, and I'll give you a third one. Neither of those two dudes would ever dare to debate me on this. I guarantee you. I would debate them. I guarantee you they would. The point I'm trying to make is, with this whole situation, you have set women back. I work with the Shade Tree in North Vegas. I take this situation very seriously. That when we deal with sexual assault or grape, that is a big thing for me. And whenever it is falsely accused, that is the second worst. Actual grape is the worst. The second worst thing you can do is falsely accuse someone of that. Right. In this case, because she has turned this into a Me Too abuse case, you are sitting there and you are setting all these women back and you are belittling actual abuse by calling this abuse. And that is why she's 500% in the wrong.
Is there a text that I'm missing where she's actually saying that what he was doing was manipulative or abusive?
Yeah, so in the side, so there's commentary. I'll show you the text message after. Okay. But on the side, it's like every one of them, it's like, fuck this guy.
You know, like on Instagram, when you post something, you can write like an extra little
you can write,
That's what she was doing.
Yeah. She's doing for every...
We're missing stuff over here.
What prompted her to do this? Did anybody say?
He had a baby with another woman.
She had an emotional burst of...
But not during the relationship.
But she sounds nuts then.
So I wanted to give you the full... Hold on. You heard those two... Hold on. You heard those two therapists talk about the new baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
No,
you didn't. You didn't. That's my point. That's my point. That is such an important piece of context that they leave out deliberately, and they don't read the messages like the full man. They only read the one where he lists his demands. That's the only time they read it. The rest of it, they don't say, "Hey, I respect you. I respect that you're.
Hey, Michael,
I respect you."
Welcome to 2023.
I respect
leaving things out.
I think you're. Hey, I respect that you're beautiful and sexy. I respect that you want to do this for a living. I respect it. If that's what makes you happy, I support it. But this is not a boundary that I can stand by. And then after they break up, he lets her know. He's like, hey, listen, I'm seeing someone else. It's been 6 months. I'm going to see someone else now. And she's like, well, thanks for letting me know. Seems like you turned that around really quick.
But let me do a devil's advocate really quickly. Just a devil's advocate. What if he is extremely insecure because in his mind he's always the fat guy, and maybe this was her, she was at her wit's end when these text messages happened. Maybe throughout the relationship he was constantly on her. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that.
Why'd she wait? Why'd she wait until he had a baby?
Because he's Jonah Hill.
No, but also let's say he was worse than this. My thing is, why did she choose these specific messages? Because she thinks that this is going to best replicate, or not replicate, but like represent how abusive he is.
No, I think she is absolutely nuts. I'm just saying, in the relationship, even though he was the star or whatever, he was probably extremely insecure and was constantly nagging her and constantly nagging her.
We don't know that. What I'm saying is, from these messages, I don't see anything he did wrong. Now, what you're going to say is, well, you know, he should have established his boundaries. We're taking red pill and posting that on him. I'm not saying that. I'm speaking because abuse is a legal thing. You guys understand? Yeah. When you say abuse, this is a legal thing now. That's where I'm saying he did nothing wrong. She belittled therapy and belittled abuse. That's what she did wrong. Then she exposed their private messages. That's what she did wrong.
She's insecure.
And finally, she said she has the audacity to say, I hope you have a little girl. After seeing those messages, you're going to talk about my child? Yeah. You're going to talk about my child? How dare you? That's what I have a problem with. No, I'm just saying, because the problem is when I hear people debate this, there's no debate. What she did was this woman is nuclear sewage. This is horrible. What she did.
And honestly, thank God that's all he said to her.
That's the clip. That's the clip.
And thank God that's all he said to her, because if he said any more, this would have been even worse.
Okay, so let's do this also one more time for the guys who are in MOA. You already know this. For those of you not in MOA, here's the piece of actionable intel. Whenever you text a woman, you need to understand, I don't care if you've been with her forever and she's sending you pictures of her exposed breasts. When you respond, you say, go with God. When you respond, you say, can't wait to get home. When you respond and say, hey, I'd love to see you you later. That's about as far as you go. You do not say, your penis does not go through the text messages. You do not escalate. You do not escalate on text. You do not complain on text. When you want to complain, if you have to say something like this, you open up what's called FaceTime, or you can do this on WhatsApp, because your phone cannot record audio on FaceTime. Your phone cannot.
There's an app for it.
There's an app for it. Okay.
There's an app for that.
Well, how about you go and have a face-to-face talk?
Okay, if you had two phones, I'm sure you could record it. Yeah. But I know some people specifically. Or if you have to send these messages, you're going to use whisper mode, you're going to use Cyberdust, or you're going to use Facebook Secret. Okay.
Signal.
Anytime you text, I want you to consider that the text messages that you're doing go up there at Harmon in Las Vegas on that big ass sign, or on the big sign at Cowboy Stadium. Mm-hmm. Everything you send her, even with my girlfriend today, if you went through all of our messages and you completely out of context, with Kylie is the greatest woman I've ever dated. I'm not saying there's any problem, but if there was and someone took my text message to her, nothing I said can be taken out of context. As men, you will write her a message, she will write back. You will write a message, she will write back. Right. You will write a message, she will write back. And then she will delete all of her messages. She will unsend all of her messages. She will screenshot that shit, and she will tell her friends what a fucking psychopath you are. Do not get caught snitching. Stop snitching on yourselves. Do not post things when you text a woman. It don't care how long you've been with her. If you need to say, baby, you look incredibly sexy, call her.
And don't send dick pics.
Call her. And don't send dick pics. You know what you can do instead of sending dick pics? Just show her your dick in person, because she likes you and she came over and gave you consent to have sex with her.
But isn't that paranoia?
No,
you're gonna be in a relationship and watch every text message.
It's paranoia until Amber Heard's.
And it's self-care.
You have to. Self-care.
And
I've seen so many girlfriends.
And if you have a problem,
Are they really that crazy?
if you have a problem, then
Yes.
just
If
use
she's
this.
deleting text messages on your end, you can still see them. Yes or no?
No. We do it on IGDM. If I unsend, they're unsent on both sides.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the problem.
If you're in a relationship, why are you in DMs and it's not?
I mean, I'm just saying that's one way I've seen women actually do this.
Isn't that stressful? Right, I'm saying, isn't that stressful?
That's like don't date, because you never know. 10 years down the line, who's going to do something stupid?
No. Here's a better idea. Here's a better idea. If you need to say something sexual, say it in private. If you need to say something sexual,
because
say it face to face.
I like sexting.
I want to let you know what's to come tonight. Like, why can't I just tell my girl or my man?
You absolutely tell them, and then you unsend it within the first 5 minutes.
The angry talk is probably the best to leave to nothing.
Yeah,
should we send like consent?
Let's just say the angry talk. That's fine. That's fine.
Should not.
Or here's another thing. Voice memo is probably not a good thing. You saw what happened with Andrew Tate. He had messages with this girl where he's talking back and forth. Out of context, it sounded different. And then he said, "Do you consent to my grape?" Do you remember this? Yep. And she goes, "LOL. If I consent to it, then it's not grape." Do you remember this? They said that. They skipped that part. BBC never shows you that part. Vice never shows you that part. They just play the message of something he said to a woman 13 years ago on WhatsApp. And by the way, Andrew Tate, when he's messaged me before, he's actually sent me voice memos, so I knew it was him. So that's the thing. Guys, be careful. You can't be leaving these voice memos. You can't be texting women incriminating stuff, or men, or anyone. You just can't. I'm telling you. So you believe whatever you want. If you want to say he's 1% wrong, that's the 1%.
So how do we get dick pics in our DMs all the time then? If men
because those men don't take men of action. Shout out to MOAmentoring.com. Guys, can we clear something up real quick? Okay, a bunch of guys who are watching are like, who the fuck is this guy over here? Right? Ready? Okay, Barry. Okay, I'm going to tell you how to describe it.
I've got a lot of examples.
There we go. Ready?
In my life.
Okay, we can do this. Barry Nadell. Barry, how old are you?
Prefer
round it off.
Next month I'll be 79.
He'll be 70. Barry's going to be 79 years old. Barry, what do you do?
I'm a photographer now.
He's a photographer. If you guys go to Weekend Cowboy Photography, Barry, you're on TRT also, right? Are you on TRT?
What's TRT?
Testosterone replacement therapy. Are you on TRT? Okay, right. The reason why I want to bring this up,
Instagram, you'll know
the reason why I'm saying this is because Barry is 78 years old, surrounded by women all the fucking time, and I brought him on because I am sick and tired of this narrative about us being old and alone. Because Barry is my fucking idol. I love my life, and I want to be Barry Nadell. For any of you who are like, who's this dude on the show? Go look up Weekend Cowboy Photography, and then tell me if you're 78 years old, if you want to be running around like that. Barry, let me ask you something. Age range of the women you date. What is that? What is that usually?
30 to 45.
30 to 45?
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And would you go lower than that?
And let me go backwards a minute.
Go ahead.
Because you brought up something earlier. Mm-hmm. I go to a lot of parties, and I was a member of several groups, and I've had the experience because of being a photographer and knowing a lot of models. Okay, they all congregate, and I always get hugs. Congregate together, and I always get hugs and everything else, and I love it. And I have had women come up to me and said, I need to know you. Who the hell are you?
Yes.
I see all these beautiful women around you. I need to get to know you. And
it's because they think you're Robert Kraft.
Listen, I've got gray hair, no six-pack. I lie. I say I'm 5'10". I'm really 5'8.5".
Okay.
But seriously, I get that, and it's truly, really true, and it's amazing. And they want to date me. It's ridiculous, and it's okay with me. Have you
ever been married?
I've been married twice. Two women, 30 years combined.
Wow. And you're done. You're like, no, I'm not the marrying guy anymore. Okay.
My second divorce, she deserved a lot of it, but cost me millions, and I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah. I just love having Barry, the 78-year-old happy man that's here, that is surrounded by women up in Chatsworth, California, in his beautiful ranch with his horses, and dozens of women come up there to shoot photography with him every week. And I'm just like, whatever you want to say, you can get angry, you can get mad, whatever. Yeah. Barry is Barry. He exists, and you can't tell me he's not real because I can see him with my own fucking eyes. I can see him.
It's crazy how many people come up to me.
If he was a woman,
what do you mean?
He'd be the worst thing on the planet if he was living that life.
But if he was a woman and he was happy, then that's fine. The point is I'm being told Barry can't be happy. Because Barry, you have kids too, right?
I have 2 happily married kids, 4 grandsons, and I'm very close with them.
Do they come over for the bikini competitions at your house?
Absolutely not.
No, they're not allowed to come?
My daughter says, Dad, you've earned the right, live your life, have a lot of fun. We have a very close relationship. But she said, I will never want to meet anybody younger than me. Okay? And my daughter's over 50. So she'll never meet anybody.
Guys, there's a bunch of people who didn't know that they're putting W Barry in the chat. Yeah. W Barry in the chat. I told you, man. I knew when I saw you 2 days ago when we were at that party. Barry and I were at ESPY's party 2 nights ago, and I was like, I need to have Barry on the show because Barry is specifically anti one of the main tropes that I hear. I intend on getting married and having kids. Don't get me wrong, but this whole thing where I'm told that I'm going to be sad and miserable if I don't. Stop telling me that.
I mean, you got married twice, right?
Yes.
It wasn't like you never wanted to get married. You had the experience, and now.
Yeah, I'm just tired of. I'm tired of the lonely old man trope. I'm sick of that trope.
Oh,
I'm sick. I would live at Barry's house if it wasn't so goddamn far away from Los Angeles.
Okay, but if Barry didn't have women coming in and out of his house for.
He rides horses. He lives a beautiful life.
If you didn't have women coming in and out of your house, would you feel lonely? If you didn't have models all the way around,
I'd have other things that would interest me.
And I still feel like you lived a full life.
Like
you did the kids,
the fact that I became a photographer by accident, really by accident, I wasn't looking for it. I love my life.
How did that happen? Explain how you came into it by accident.
I was doing my rodeo sport where I was shooting guns at balloons. Okay,
that's what he would be doing.
I did it for 12 years, traveling the country, having a blast. Okay, a lot of cowboy friends. I call myself the weekend cowboy. Okay, I developed arthritis in my hand, and I couldn't shoot fast enough because it's single action. So I took a polo, and I played polo for a couple of years, and then I hurt my back. Okay, and I'm sitting around, and I get a call from a close friend of mine.
How old were you when all this was going
on? I was about 64, 65.
You became a photographer.
I got on my first horse when I was 50. Okay? I got a call from a close friend of mine who was an attorney, and he said, Barry, I volunteered for something, and I can't go. Can you take my place? I said, what is it? He said, judging a bikini contest. I said, I think I can do that. The following week, I was in the Bahamas, and I'm watching all these photographers shooting these models. There were 100 models there. Okay,
it was Paradise Challenge.
No, it was something else. But I was bored as hell, so I started carrying the lights for the photographers. And one of them says, I don't live too far from you. Why don't you be a photographer? It's a lot more fun, and I'd be happy to mentor you.
Wow.
So that's how I got into it.
But what's your thing? Because I think every man that sleeps with women that are younger and attractive, they all know why they're a G. Why are you a G? Like, do you?
What's a G?
Barry doesn't know about no top G, no bottom G.
Barry doesn't know about that. Like, why do you think women are attracted to you?
because they're tired of these guys that treat them like shit. Okay, and most guys do. They're into themselves. They don't like guys their own age or within 10 years of them. Okay, and I treat them with respect. We have fun. My favorite is musical theater. I take them to concerts. I see everybody in concert. I've seen Justin Bieber 4 times.
Wow.
Okay? I see Taylor Swift all the time. I was seeing Taylor Swift when my daughter yelled at me, "Why are you seeing Taylor Swift?" Now she's paying $1,000
because it's on bitch wants to go see
it. And I treat them really well, and I take care of them. And if they need anything, that's fine.
Who makes the first move, though?
Who makes the first move?
Yeah.
It might be both ways. It's happened.
Average age of the girl. Average age
he
of the
said
girls.
30, 35, 45?
35, 45.
Average age is probably 33, 34.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And do they want kids?
Yes, but in the future.
I don't think you guys understand.
And I'm totally honest with them. I tell them, I'm not getting married to you. We're never going to have kids, okay? We're never going to live together, but I'm going to be there for you for anything you need. The other day, the girl that I've been seeing for over about 3.5 years, she was having some problems. I said, what she did is instead of taking her eye drops, she reached in her purse and she dropped her nail glue.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Okay.
I've never heard that happening before.
So
Me too. Yeah.
I ran over to her apartment, picked her up, took her to the emergency room, waited for her, okay? And then the next day, I made an appointment with my eye doctor, okay? And her insurance didn't cover my eye doctor. And I took her to my eye doctor because, eyes are too important. And and a guy her age or within 10 years is not going to do that.
No. Yeah.
And it's because I care about her. And I'm happy to help her with her rent or do whatever she needs.
The guys our age can't even give you a ride.
No, listen.
Interesting.
But you know what? If a guy's that age are listening to this podcast, they need to think about, being a gentleman to the women they're dating and stop being an asshole, okay? And playing video games or smoking pot.
Do you know what year this is, Barry? Do you know what year this is?
Are you sure his last name's not Waller?
That's why guys like me
Okay.
exist. That's why guys like me
The point I want to make is like when Justin Waller talks about gentleman game, I hear all these people. He's like, well, because he's so good looking,
He's
blah, whatever.
simping.
They, like my man over here, is 78 years old, and he's 5'8.5", and he's like surrounded by women. You guys are going to make every excuse you can about why this works, and I've seen it. I have seen women compete for Barry. Barry shows up to my events. Barry is rolling 30 deep with girls. Say whatever the fuck you want to say, but it's crazy. So the thing is, pre-selection is real. In case you didn't know, it was real. And whatever criticism you want, just remember, dude, you're not 78
Barry,
years old.
What are some of the events in like the publications, like the magazines? I would presume. Like, what have you shot for? For photos?
I've had girls published in Playboy, Maxim, FHM, and then there's a series of a lot of other magazines. Through.
And do you still do the same events, those bikini content, like Paradise Challenge and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
well, I got involved with an organization called Swimsuit USA, which is very respectable, been around for years, run by a lady by the name of Kathy Wheatley.
What up, Kathy?
Hey, Kathy.
Kathy is my boss.
And she invited me to one of her events, and I became, a pickup photographer, where I'd ask girls to shoot and this and that and everything else. And then they like my work, and I get my work out to them fast. It's well done and everything else. And the next year she made me like a staff photographer, and I shot 80 drop dead gorgeous women in 2.5 days.
Wow.
And got all the edits to them in 3 weeks.
That's amazing.
And
that's work ethic.
And now I put on events at my ranch. Okay, and I invite models to come, and I sponsor a model to go to the international finals for Swimsuit USA, pay their airfare as well, okay, and I sponsor one model, and that man in the corner has been after me for a couple of years, and now I'm going to his bikini contests, at Wet Republic, and volunteered to sponsor a girl out of there as Miss Las Vegas to go to the international finals.
Awesome.
Sheesh.
And I also threw in at my event that I picked one girl and I give her a 3-month scholarship to a phenomenal school of performing arts.
Wow.
And the girl who won it last year got a 3-month scholarship. She's still going to the class. She says she looks forward to the classes every day. They bring in agents on Saturdays. She meets agents, and she has opportunities to make money in acting. And she's taking cold read and all the rest of that stuff. And it changes people's lives.
Yeah.
You know, I like helping people. You know?
Wow.
I make calendars for the girls that they can sell every year. Do I charge? No. Photographers are pissed at me because I don't charge for my work.
Yes.
Why? I'm independently wealthy. I don't need to do
Okay, so the point I want to make is the point I want to make is if anybody wants to make some judgment about his lifestyle, whatever, he's 78 years old. I'm tired of hearing about this trope that he's the lonely old man. Get the fuck out of here with that stuff. You as a dude, you have a lot longer to go. And the other thing is, my man Barry is out here. When we went to Paradise Challenge, I was beat, bro. It is so hot in Jamaica sometimes. But Barry, no, Barry's up at 6 a.m. every day. Barry's shooting all day because he's on TRT, man. Barry's out there killing. Barry has more energy than me. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that's why I wanted to bring you. That's why I want to bring you on here, Barry.
Barry, let me just the final thought.
Sure.
Have you ever had people tell you that guy should act his age? He settle down, you know, like
no,
you should be in a retirement home.
I want to be you when I'm at that age.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. See, listen to this, because I am sick to fucking death of people going, well, Rollo, man, he's in his 50s. He should just act his age. He should cut his hair. He should get into something more respectable. Like, it's like, dude, I'm doing what I do because I enjoy doing this. It's not a front. This is I am who I say I am right here, and I'm really I think probably right now because of maybe it's just the way the culture's changed. Maybe it's because of the internet. Maybe it's because you can make money online. There's so many different. The horizons are the opportunities are way more than when I was like half my age. Much more now. And as a result of that, I'm able to do stuff like this. And so people go, well, you know, he's just they call me an old man, right? And I'm just like, you know, I'm doing what I want to do, and I enjoy doing it. And whenever somebody says, you're going to be a lonely old man, or you should act your age, it's usually other old guys who say, oh, man, I wouldn't want to be like that. And you don't want to be the old guy in the club. And,
Aren't
all
you
this other
married,
stuff.
though?
Yeah, I am married.
So then you're not lonely. What
I'm not. I'm not going to be.
He's not lonely because he's here with us.
Exactly. Look what I do. But look what I do. Well, look what I do.
Hey, Rollo, when you first started doing Access Vegas and you went back to Reno, what was the reaction from your wife?
Oh, just fine. She loves it. I mean, come on. I wouldn't be here doing what I do.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but there was more reaction than that you mentioned to me. She was very happy to see you.
Well, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, when I'm coming back, I have a very good relationship with my wife. I think a lot of people want to say, oh, he's only doing this because he has a bad relationship with his wife and his daughter and everything else. They want to make up every rumor they possibly can. And he's going through a midlife crisis. He's trying to pretend like he's 14 again. He's like that.
14.
He's a teenager or whatever. He's back in high school or something. And it's like, no, dude. It's like you don't understand my situation, and you never will, because you're stuck and locked into what you're doing right now. And the only way you can think is, oh, that's the lonely old man, which, by the way, used to be the lonely old woman, which used to be, you're going to be a spinster. You're going to be a spinster.
It still is, though. They still tell women you're going to have a cat and you're going to die.
And really what that is, and I'll tell you this, you know what it boils down to is intra-sexual competition. It's how older guys compete with other guys. So when a younger guy sees a guy like Barry or myself or whatever surrounded by beautiful women, at least giving the perception that he's getting with these women, you have the ability to do just what she was saying. Guys your age don't have they don't got fucking sense. They don't have a car, they don't have a job, they don't have any direction in life. So what's happening is women are opting for guys who are older than them, and in some cases maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years older than they are.
Yeah, we want a man.
But Rollo,
so what happens is those younger women, then they go, oh, old man, act your age, because they can't compete with you on that same level.
Rollo, so you explained to me how when you went back home to your wife, because if I was your wife and you came back home to me, I'd be sending you those Jonah Hill texts. I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
I love you. I can't wait to see you.
But I don't want, these are my boundaries, and if you want to be with those hoes.
But you're here. He doesn't want to be with that.
Rollo,
I know she's watching right now.
I used to have friends, okay, that are happily married, that are my age, and they're still happily married, okay, but their wives don't want their husbands to be friends with me.
Yeah.
Because they have the fear.
Yo, ladies, let me tell you something.
And it's a problem.
bunch of ladies want to be friends with me, and a bunch of the ladies' boyfriends want to be friends with me, but the boyfriends don't want their girlfriends to be friends with me, and the girlfriends don't want their boyfriends to be friends with me. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like, dudes want me to get them into the Ignite party to Bill Zarian's house, and the girls want me to get them in, but the guys want me to get them in and not get their girlfriends in, and vice versa. Does that make sense?
That sounds like so much immaturity all in one group.
It's funny.
That's like so much insecurity.
Am I wrong though?
And maturity.
But am I wrong though? Like, that's how it is. Like, the boyfriend, like, anytime I have a female friend, their boyfriends are like, they don't want her hanging out with me, but they want to hang out with me. Does that make sense?
But you know why? Because I used to date a guy that was kind of like, I guess you could say, the alpha or the leader of his group.
Yeah.
So he knew everybody in the industry like me, and we used to get in. He knows all the dancers, everything. And I think because he was the leader, they were like, oh my God, how do you know these girls? Oh my God, I want to do that. Whereas him, he's not going to be swayed, but all his friends want to be him. So then they would get scared.
Can I ask something though? Because a lot of the word insecure gets thrown around a lot, right? But isn't it possible? I mean, what you think, where you hang out, eventually it'll start sticking to you. So even the most faithful person, if you keep hanging around ass all the time, you don't think that someone is going to be tempted?
No, for sure. That's why the two of you should do what Jesse does.
What is that?
I swear to God, Michael, I'm going to smack you. Every fucking
Go ahead, Jesse. They should do what Jesse does. Jesse, explain her the solution.
What does she do?
Say it in Spanish.
No, because
I speak Spanish.
I'm like, it makes my eyebrows twitch. I don't do what I do to keep my man. I want to make that very, very clear. I don't pretend to be bisexual or become bisexual when I get drunk and try to hook up with girls because I think it's sexy to him. We're going to keep him around. I want that to be made very clear.
Oh, you give him threesomes?
If I give a threesome, and it's not me giving one. If we have a threesome, which I fucking had one a week ago, it's because I wanted it. And I was like, babe. And he's like, no, babe. And I'm like, babe. And he's like, no, babe. And I'm like, can you... Please. Like, beg you for it? Like, seriously, do I have to beg you for it at this point?
I've done that before.
He's like, I just want to make sure that it's not something that you're doing because of me. I'm like, no. 100 deep? Now you're worried about that? Like, no. If I'm attracted to women, I'm attracted to women all the time. If we have the kind of relationship where we agree to that, we are monogamous.
So, I mean, but you're bisexual.
We are monogamous in our lives, minus the occasional, like, you know? But it's not like we're out dating other people independently or together. It is simply something that if we partake in it together. It is not something I give him. It is not a perk. It's not like, oh, date me.
We do this together. Jen, we do this together.
It's not an obligation.
You made it sound
right. And he does this every time. Fresh and Fit podcast. Everyone go down, say your age, your name, and then what you bring to the table. And I'm like, hi, I'm Jesse, and I do this. And he's like, yeah. But what else do you bring to the table, Jess? You forgot to tell him something.
So you're bisexual even if you were single, even without a man.
Yeah, exactly. It's
so
not bisexuality to keep my man interested or to be on Instagram and appear more desirable to men.
Some people are Jose Canseco. They hit from the right side of the plate. Some people are Barry Bonds. They hit from the left side of the plate. And some people are Mickey Mantle. Some people are Mickey Mantle.
She does this because she wants to.
Because I want
not because she is obligated to do.
Right. And it's not something that I cannot stand a bitch that pretends to be bisexual just to get some attention in the club. Like, oh, let's make out just so we can. No.
Yes.
No.
Just so we can be cute.
Just so we can be cute.
Make an appearance. But I eat vagina. I like vagina. Spread it open. Let me look at it. Let me kiss it. I love it all.
So what are your boundaries with that? If he brought a girl home, would you be okay with it?
She ain't no types of shit.
Come here, hold on. Let's talk. Hold on, wait a minute. Off camera. Let's go.
Oh! I can break everything.
Don't get us kind of.
They're exchanging phone numbers. They're exchanging phone numbers.
My bad.
Hey, I wonder why I put the two of them next to each other. I wonder how that happened.
So do you have boundaries? Like,
if I see a big enough super chat, I might encourage this.
Can he bring a girl on his own?
I have never told him no to something. He has made it clear to me, I'm going to sit back and let you do what you do.
Yeah, but I've had to say no before.
I've had to say no.
Yeah, I've had to say no before.
If there's a girl that he's like, oh, she's pretty, and I'm like, I can't eat that vagina. Like,
That was
that's
me.
not.
I've had it.
I'm not just do it just to do it.
Why did you say no?
Because a lot of times when a girl is bisexual, she may be into a super feminine looking woman, and to me, she's not attractive.
Yeah.
Like, just like she looks like a board with short hair. I'm not into that.
That's happened before.
Like, listen, if she demanded, then I'd probably do it. But like, I've had to say no before. Yeah.
I want to ask Jody a question too. Like, how long?
Hold on, wait. Not my current girlfriend. My girlfriend picks tens. My current girlfriend.
How long have you been married? I know you're married.
I'm married, yes.
Yeah, how long has it been?
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
We've been together almost 5 years.
And what's your relationship dynamic? Like, is it closed on his end, closed on your end? You don't bring girls into the thing. He's
correct.
So it's not open or anything. Like
no,
that?
it's not. My husband's an attorney, so I'm not saying that.
He's watching this going, oh
exactly.
shit.
Don't mess this up. I'm not say anything stupid.
And he knows what divorce costs.
Did you meet him? Did you meet him like through like was he like a trial attorney or a personal injury, and you met him as an attorney?
We met on Bumble.
Oh, met on Bumble. Okay.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I actually knew right away when we went on our first date that we'd be together for the long.
How long have you guys been together?
Almost 5 years. We've been married almost a year.
Okay.
Wow.
But I'm just saying, when it's the right person, you know,
Right.
and you're on the same level. Even though we're completely different in certain aspects, because obviously he's an attorney. I do all this modeling. I'm very much into fitness, and obviously he's not that he's not into fitness. He works out. But not
Can
like
you
me.
squat more than him?
Well, yeah, I work out every day. You
You can squat more than him for real?
Yeah, probably.
Can you deadlift more than him?
I don't deadlift.
Okay. Ashley's kind of mad at you right now. I'm telling you right now, if somebody had to pull me out of this burning room right now, I'm pointing to this one right here.
Gotcha.
370 deadlift. Go ahead.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is when you meet the right one, you're going to know instantly, this is the person for me. And we never really had to discuss boundaries. It's like he kind of knew, I kind of knew. At first when we started dating, it was a little bit like, okay, this is what I'm all about. This is what I believe in. But when he showed up on the first date, he's still that same person to this day.
That's good.
He's never changed. He's actually better today than he was.
And his background, does he have like both of his parents still together, like kind of like, or his dad at least still?
His dad passed.
Okay,
years ago,
but he was still in his life.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Parents were still together until the passing.
But he's been married before.
Okay.
And his ex-wife cheated on him. And but the thing is with me modeling and everything, he's very secure. He pushes me. He's like, keep going, keep doing this. He wanted me to do Playboy and FHM.
Do you think you provide something for him to give that security, like something in what are you doing that makes him feel so secure?
I don't, that's a good question. I don't know. I think it's because I'm very supportive of his career. I mean, obviously I know too much about law. He always comes to me, what do you think of this case? I'm like, dump it.
Kind of like how Kylie knows all she ever wanted to know about like airplanes and jet fighters.
My girlfriend knows so much about like geopolitical stuff and fighters and aliens and flat Earth.
Exactly. But that comes with the relationship. I mean, I'm sure he's sick of hearing about my photo shoots or modeling or this or that or what, you know what I mean? But he's very supportive.
Curious, do you ever get invited to parties he can't go to and you say no to it?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. To me, that is the boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really interesting. Again, going back to what I said before. So, if you went to a Maxim party, Ignite party, and he couldn't get in, or like whatever, some party like that,
he would tell me to go. 100%.
Yeah, he'd tell you to go, and then if he was my buddy, he'd be asking me to watch you to see. That's why the dudes all want to be my friend because I get invited to all those parties, and then the girls will be there, and they'll be like, "Yo, is my girl?" I get this message all the time, and then the same thing from the girls. They'll be like, "Yo, is my man there?" Is whatever, and I'm like, "Britt, my name's Bennett, and I'm not in it. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're messaging." For.
And when he tells you to go to the Maxim party, he just trusts you.
100%. I mean, even I'll give you an example.
I mean, who's gonna try to pick her up? What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Look at these two rabid dogs over here, just ready. Look at it. We're looking at them right here. Hey, have you ever batted left-handed?
No.
Never done that?
No.
Never tried that?
No.
You never.
Amazing.
Okay.
Have you ever tried a clam or an oyster? Have you ever eaten an oyster?
No.
Have you never eaten at the Y? No.
I tried it. I tried it once.
She's heterosexual. It's gonna make a comeback. I swear to God.
Katrina, have you ever eaten at the Y, Katrina?
I have.
Yes.
When I was like
and you don't
19.
That one time at band
That was a
camp.
long time ago.
That's crazy. I'll even do it when my girlfriend gets back from the gym. I don't care.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
I'm like, baby girl, just let me.
We got to get.
Hey, can we somehow? Okay, can we get a 3-shot with the two of them together? Like this dynamic is insane right now. Can we zoom out a little bit to get Ashley?
We know where this is going after this.
This is going crazy. I don't know, Amber, if it's possible. That is
hey, before
crazy.
we get to super chats, though, I like what you said about like how you when you met him that he was just kind of like it was sort of this natural flow, like you were just like you. I think when women describe this, it's more like, oh, I just knew it was him. I just knew it was a thing, like something. I've said this before because people have asked me about like how did you like meet your wife? How did you what was the process there? Because everybody wants the secret sauce, right? They want the secret formula to it, and I'm like. People ask me like, Rolo, how did you vet your wife? I'm like, I didn't vet my wife. I vetted me first because I had to say, is this the kind of person who I will not cheat on? Basically, that's what it was. Yeah. I'm like, because I know me, I've seen me do it. Right. So I'm like, is this the kind of person that I could be faithful to for the rest of my life? And the answer was yes. I was like, yeah, goddamn right.
Okay.
And then from there, it wasn't like I had this checklist of things she had to do. It was more or less the same thing where it's like, okay, this feels like the most natural thing in the world to the point where it's like I'm dating non-exclusively, she's dating non-exclusively, we're seeing each other. And then at one point during our sort of dating, she says, I don't like the idea of you being with other people. I want to be exclusive. And she was asking me this. I wasn't like trying to get her as my girlfriend. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. And so from there on, after about a year after that, that's when we got married. So, but it was a process, but it wasn't like some sort of conscious process, I think. Right. And so, like, by the way, next week it'll be 27 years. I love you very much.
Bro, he was telling me, I think it's 27. I was like, bro, you better know.
No, next week. It's next week. It's 27 years. Jeez. And I just love my life. So. When I think about like guys wanting to sort of follow, have a template or something like that, I can't really say because it seems like it's almost like a byproduct of like I really like having sex with her, I really like spending time with her. It just seems like a good idea. Let's go with it, and I'm glad to say that it worked out the way that it did.
Rolo, do you think that a relationship that has to set boundaries verbally, do you think that relationship is doomed? If a woman has to tell a man, look, I don't like when you do this, and a man has to tell a woman, I don't like when you do this at the onset, do you think it's...
I don't think it's necessarily doomed, but I think there's two different dynamics in play right there. So the first one is the Jonah Hill thing that we were just talking about a minute. And just for the record, because I know people in the chat and the people in the comments after this are going to ask me this. First of all, I think that boundaries are toothless unless you actually, unless there's consequences.
He broke up with her.
Unless there's a spanking, the kid. Unless you touch the hot stove, you're not going to learn the lesson.
He dumped her.
Yeah, so he
but
did.
Is the broken boundary automatically a breakup, or can I like punch him in the neck?
I think it's contextual. What is it, right? So
if he cheats on his taxes, don't leave him. If he fucks a man, you might consider. It's up to you.
Because I've been in a relationship and the guy was like, I didn't know what your boundaries were. Okay, I'm learning this.
It's different having to hold a guy's hand and teach them every aspect of being in a relationship than to establish
I have a story.
boundary.
I have a story for you, and I've never told this on anywhere. So you're going to get this. Because one of my clients actually asked me about this recently because we were talking about the and I was saying exactly what I said to you guys. Like, if you're having to have these conversations in the first place, I want your genuine desire. I want that woman to know me well enough to know what my boundaries are in the first place, right? Or to want me enough to say, hey, I don't actually want to go do those things or advertise myself. Like, you won't find my wife on any social media whatsoever. She doesn't want to be on that. She wants me to come home and I've been out here for 10 days, right? She wants me to come home and so we can have a good time together, right? But it was a while back. I think it was probably about a year into our marriage. And this was before there were cell phones, but I didn't have a cell phone at this time. So we're talking probably 97, 98, somewhere around there. And I was at an event, and I was at this store, an event at a store, and she couldn't get in touch with me. And she had some sort of problem. I can't even remember it was so long ago, I don't even remember the problem. But at some point she was talking to me. She got really irate with me on the phone, and she hung up on me. And I had dealt with that with the borderline personality disordered girlfriend that I had so many fucking times. And I was like, so when I went back to her, I said, look, I don't have many boundaries, right? Like, you know me. But I was like, if you ever do that again, I'm done. we're done. That's it. Because I will not put up with that kind of disrespect. I put up with it way too long with an ex-girlfriend, and I will not put up. That was just you're right. It triggered me, and that was it. That was the end of it. So so is that a boundary? Is that setting a boundary? Yeah, but it's about hanging up on it. It's disrespect.
But your question was if they have to explain it in the beginning, and the answer is yes. My girlfriend is 25 years younger than me, and I'm 45 years old, so there's there's certain things, and also this is my fault and her, like an issue I have to deal with and the issue she has to deal with. I actually don't like when I'm around my buddies, especially the guys I was in the U.S. military with, we talk like sailors, and I don't communicate with her like that.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Yes.
And she's from Southwest Arkansas, and the way they show love is by telling each other to fuck the fuck off. That you're a piece of shit. Like that's
Sounds
how they
like
communicate.
New York.
Yeah.
Sounds like same.
Yeah.
And I explained to her, I'm like, that's fine out there, but here, I'm not offended with your language. My problem is we need to decide when are we catching this airplane flight. Where hotel are we staying at? When are we going to go do this thing? And like the constant exaggerations and the hyperbole or her joking accusations, it breaks down our communication. But she didn't know that because this is just the way she communicates with some of her family members, and it's something we've had to work through. And I was like, at first I was like, hey, listen, you're exaggerating. And she's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. After a while, she's like, you're right, I am exaggerating. I need to stop doing this. And I'm like, I understand this is the way you communicate with your family, but like with me, like I am a U.S. military officer. When you say be here at this time, that's what it means to me. Later on, if you want to joke, just let me know that you're joking. But like these other times when you say this, it's not conducive for our relationship for you to communicate with me like that.
But what kind of joke? Like what kind of joke?
We just always joke. It's like, oh, you're gonna go over there and cheat on me because you're gonna be at such and such. And I'm
so
like,
you got tired of hearing
but
it.
I'm like, babe, like this thing is, I'm telling too much here, but we've had threesomes with multiple women. I'm like, I don't talk to any of them after I talk to you. You've had plenty of instances to know that's not going to happen.
Right.
So like at some point you have to say, wait, this thing going on in here, I need to turn it off because it's not conducive to this relationship. And so that's kind of what's going on.
To her credit, she has the ability to do that.
Yeah,
and I was going to say that is people have always asked me like, what do you look like? What are some good like green flags, right? Some qualities in a woman. Be hot, be sexual. Okay, those are out of the way. Have a capacity for insight, like to know to check yourself, right? To
self-awareness.
Yes. Kylie has done this because I've noticed this because I'm around these guys all the time. But I've also noticed the same quality in my wife, right? Because she'll like go beyond the pale, right? Go beyond and I'm a very patient guy, and so like when I lose my patience, it's because I expect people to understand I'm a really fucking patient guy, and you push a barely patient guy over the edge, right? So, but the thing is like I've had occasions where my wife has done something, and maybe it kind of bugged me, maybe it didn't. Maybe I didn't even think about it, but she'll come back to me later. She goes, you know what? I was pretty fucked up when I did that. Like, can I, I apologize. I love you, blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have reacted that way. I'm like, fuck. Really? I love you. You know,
it's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible because most women don't have that. At least in the last, last half of the millennials and certainly the Zoomers right now don't have really a capacity to go. You know what? How did I behave? And man, I really feel bad about that.
Yeah.
I should apologize.
So then all
like
these
organically.
these podcasts spewing that older women don't have value past 26, 27. They're saying, I want a girl that's 18, 19 years old because they've been ran through less.
No, they just want them because they're virgins.
Exactly.
That's why.
They won't know how bad of a lay they are. They don't know any better. But the point is that you look for that emotional maturity in a relationship that you don't just get from a 19-year-old.
Well, I'll tell you how I've answered that in the past. So when guys say, well, I've said this before, and I will say this once again when we get to Margot Robbie here in just a moment. Women's primary agency.
We need to get to Adam 22.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. By the way, Domo's been texting me about that. I've said this in the past, is that women's primary agency in this life is their sexuality. So when they are 22, 23, 24 years old, they are at the peak of their sort of feminine power, because that's when guys want to go take them to Aruba, and Drake wants to take you to, on his yacht party or something like that. And then every year after that, it slowly decays and declines and goes down. Now, does that mean the woman is worthless? No, not at all. I'm just saying that her primary agency is her sexuality. That's why when women want to protest or they want some attention in some way, like if you see some abortion protest, they strip off their clothes. At every Jennifer Aniston on the cover of whatever magazine, whoop, off comes the clothing, because that's how women feel empowered. through their sexuality, through the attention that they get, through the eye. They complain about the male gaze all you want. That's the first impulse women have when they want to, like, make no mistake. This, I want attention. Listen to me. Look at me. Look at me. All I have to do is take off my clothes, and that's what will happen. Now, is that the only agency they have? No, it's not. Then it's what is value added beyond that. So it's once we get past that, once we've established, okay, you're sexual, you're valuable because of that. What else is there? What value added do you bring to the table? I would argue that like a true organic sense of insight is one of those things. So. Can we get to super chats? I know we got a bunch of them. We were kind of.
I had one question.
Then we'll move on.
Hey, Rolo, I had just one thing to. Okay, so you know how you talked about boundaries, and you were like, "Well, my wife wanted to do those things for me." I've had situations where a guy would say, like, for example, yeah, my ex she used to travel the world with her girlfriends. I don't care. I never bugged her. I was like this. I'm like this, and all of a sudden, you take the step into that world, like go out with your girlfriends for the first time, and then. Now he's upset. Now he's doing this. I'm like, but I thought
you're changing your behavior.
Yeah, I thought with your ex, like, and that's what I've always experienced. Like, he was so cool with his exes, doing everything they wanted to do, but then with me, there's a lot of possession. So I think that's like what I've kind of encountered, where people are not like clear about their boundaries. They're telling you something else, and then later on they're like, I'm going to retract this.
Well, I think here's the other thing is if you spend enough time with a guy or a woman for that matter, you kind of get to know who they are as a person. You should be anyways. You should have the genuine interest and desire. If you're going to be with them in any kind of relationship, you should know what they like to eat, what kind of their hobbies are, what their mom was like, what they went through. And so from that perspective, it's like, okay, what are his, you should know bloody well what his boundaries are already, because you already know what kind of guy he is. If he's the kind of guy who's like, no woman of mine is going to go out on girls' night out or anything like that. If he has that sort of that personality, you should already know that beforehand. And if that's the guy that you want to be with, then that's the guy.
I would agree with you, but it's always like, oh yeah, go. Who cares? And then I think that he's saying that so he can do guys' night out, and then I won't go out.
So it's like a trade-off. It's transactional.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, I choose to go out finally, and it's like, then it'll be the first problem. It's like, well, you didn't come home on time. Then it's like, oh, you didn't communicate.
Where were you? Who were you with?
Or yeah,
coming home?
Oh, actually,
put an air tag on your car. Yeah,
I don't like those girls. Okay, never mind. It's not about those girls. Now it's about your location. Okay, here's my location. Next time I go out, it's something else, and then just.
Well, I'll flip it around for you. I have guys who've told me before, hey, Rollo, I suspect that my girlfriend's cheating. Should I go root through her phone? I'm like, no, don't go snoop through her phone. Like, if you are getting that instinct, that's like something on your periphery or peripheral attention. Something is inconsistent with her behavior, and so your gut is telling you something's not quite right.
I thought that too, and I asked him, like, do you think I'm cheating? And I'm like, really, do you think I'm cheating? Because I think every man that I've ever dated always knows. For me, it's always going to be one penis and multiple vaginas. That's just how I always believe it. And if I do have a girl, it would never be behind that person's back. It's always with you in the same room. That's how it's always going to be. So, and I established that very clear. But for some reason, I always I don't know if it's the same type of guy. I always get a guy that seems to be so lax, but gets to be so possessive
later on.
Oh my! To the point where even during a threesome, I have to be the cuckold and watch them fuck because they're just. Oh, can I say that word?
Yeah, you can.
And watch.
Yeah, that word on YouTube, that is okay. Not those other ones, but that one happens to be all right.
And watch them do it while I sit back and just and watch them because they're so jealous. It's weird. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, the jealousy instinct in men is different than it is in women. That's why. So men are much more focused on the physical when it comes to jealousy.
Yeah,
they want to know where you did it.
Because you could have someone who isn't our baby, but you know it is your baby. That's why we're more jealous. That's the reason why. Also, we have 17 times as much testosterone. First off, shout out to the almost 1,200 people that are watching us live right now on all three channels.
Thank you very much.
Number one. Number two, let's get to the super chats.
Yeah.
Let's pay some bills.
Yeah, super chats. Pay the bills.
Yes.
Thank you, Nicole, Coco.
Did you guys want me to read Mike's or Rollo's?
Go Rollo's. I got mine.
Okay. Let's see. So Gary Jr. says.
Can you talk, Coco? Get closer to the mic, please.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. Gary Jr. says, I met an e-court, which I'm assuming he meant to say an escort.
Yes.
She helped.
Also a word you can say on YouTube.
She helped me through stuff, and her likewise. Years later, we've shared passwords, used each other's as references, loaned cash, hung out, took trips. Is this possible to be a serious relationship? How to proceed?
What do you say there, Mr. Sartain?
Hell no. Bro, that's no, you're paying her for... Okay, is it possible to be a serious relationship? It is if you want to maintain the context of you continuing to pay her and understanding that her caring about you is conditional. I have absolutely seen women fall in love with men who pay them on a regular basis. Because I've seen women, you have too, like women who are like sugar babies, and then all of a sudden they get cut off and they're they're legitimately heartbroken, or they see that their sugar daddy is like with some other girl and they're legitimately heartbroken. Like because here's the thing, even though the actual giving a girl money is kind of cope, like it isn't really genuine attraction, over time if she becomes dependent, one of the things that money is, it's an analogy for competency in the Pleistocene epoch. So 50,000 years ago, we didn't have money. The analogy for money, or the analogy for competency, the best fisherman, the best hunter, the best builder, the best protector, is now the analogy is money. So I don't bring the deer home on our shoulders. I bring the Ferrari home. Does that make sense? So that's the thing. So most women know, most women are just going to this is what I used to think, because I used to manage a strip club, and I used to believe that every girl there was just tolerating the touching from the dudes, and this whole thing was gross, and they were just doing it for the money. And then I would meet girls, not all of them, but some of them that were legitimately stimulated by the fact that they were being paid for their physical appearance. They actually enjoyed it, and when they would go on stage and they were not being paid as much because of the physical appearance, they'd actually feel depression because of it. And some of the women explaining to me that they actually physiologically got turned on by men with money. And I didn't believe that was true initially. And then I met several women who are like that. They're literally instead of a man having a six-pack, being rich actually made them horny for that man. I didn't think that was real, but I've met so many women who are like that. We're talking about 2 standard deviations. We're talking about 5% of women. I'm not saying most women. Most women who are prostitutes, they're just accepting money and tolerating sex. But there are some women who are actually stimulated by powerful men with money, and that's all, no matter what they look like.
Michael, I'm sure everybody here saw Pretty Woman.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, my answer to that is it sounds like they've been together for a very long time, and things change over time. Okay, and they've accepted the fact that he was paying her. Because, listen, when you're married, you're paying her. You're supporting her. You know, you're letting her go out and buy furs and diamonds. Maybe not furs anymore. But diamonds. But you know, and you're buying her beautiful jewelry and beautiful clothes and everything else. You are supporting her because you love her. And that's the key. It's communication. It's having fun together. It's companionship. And what happened in the past happens in the past.
Yeah, but in Pretty Woman, he was hot. He was young and hot.
We don't know this situation.
Okay, so go back to what you said before about the thing with money. I'm a little different. If you run a Fortune 500 company and you every once in a while want to make a trip to Colombia, I'm not going to judge you for that. But I will tell you, don't tell me that's game, and stop selling coaching programs on that shit. That is ridiculous. That is not game. If you want to go have sex with a bunch of prostitutes in Panama, go have fun, knock yourself out. But don't call that game to me. That's not game. That's my only point. And my only thing is, I would prefer if you guys at some point in your life actually learn how to generate genuine attraction from women without using money. Right. And then guess what happens when you do that? And then you start making $400,000 a year. Then it's almost like taking steroids and then not going to the gym. No, go to the gym first, get a build, then take steroids. That's the way it's supposed to work. Not that I recommend you take steroids or pay for prostitutes. Do neither. Do neither. Okay?
Wink, wink.
Or buy cocaine. Don't do any of those things.
Take Tren.
Or take Trent. Don't do any of those things. But what I'm saying is the idea of you're doing it in backward. It's almost like Neil Armstrong, taking the performance enhancing drugs before he trained.
I think you meant Lance Armstrong.
Lance Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong.
So I just did a flat Earth debate a couple days ago. That's
he
why.
might have been on the moon.
So anyway,
he's looking pretty hip.
The thing with Lance Armstrong again, you do it backwards. So in the thing, my saying is, if you're using money to get women, if you lead with money, you always have to lead with money, and that's the problem.
Yeah, when you lose the money, then you're
correct.
No women.
But again, my whole point is like learn game so that you have the fastball, and then you can bring the changeup in later. But the changeup comes after you already have the fastball. So learn game first, and then if you want to add money in later, learn how to sprinkle it in. There's ways to do it where it's not like you're supplicating for one woman, but you're taking care of everybody. Like you're not you look like a simp if you're just paying for dinner for women who just keep like taking advantage of you, but you don't look like a simp if you're having somebody's birthday party on your yacht and everybody's out there having a fucking blast on your yacht.
Yeah, you're entertaining.
You're entertaining everyone. You're just the king of the party. There's a big difference between those two things.
Yeah. By the way, natural symmetrical C cups have a bigger return on investment than most mutual funds.
That is absolutely true. I was saying this forever. Bro, if I could come up with a business model, I got one for you. Somebody's going to steal this from me, but I don't give a shit. Just lend money to women for boob jobs. Just doing that, your ROI, bro. I'm telling you, 20K.
Women pay for their boob jobs?
No. No.
Is that a thing?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Jesse's boobs take up half the shot.
I would if I had a fucking fund where all we did was lend money to women for boob jobs and we get paid back at like 15%.
You would increase human happiness.
I would make so much money.
All right, Coco, next.
Okay. The next one is also by Gary Jr., and I forgot to mention that he was very generous. That one that you guys answered was $20. He sent in a $2 one saying, no one gives a fudge about Jonah. Skip.
Well, the thing is, it's not about Jonah.
Apparently, 75,000 people watching those therapists.
Like, the thing is, like, if somebody, I'm glad right now that I don't need therapy, but I have some brothers and sisters who are in the U.S. military who do. So don't pervert that industry by lying on TikTok. That's my point. So okay, maybe you don't care about Jonah Hill, but like turning therapy into a joke when some people actually need it. That's why I'm offended. Yeah. Jonah can deal with whatever. Jonah's going to die with $500 million someday. He's going to be just fine. And Miss Sarah Barker, whatever her name is, she's going to be fine too. She's going to have to deal with it. This is the most relevant she'll ever be in her entire life. Good for her. But the point is,
I don't even know who she is.
like, don't pervert, don't bastardize and pervert therapy with this nonsense because some people actually need therapy.
Agreed. Next one is from Bender the Offender, $20 super chat. It says, Jonah's ex is essentially regretting her actions, and now that he has a kid with another woman, she feels the need to justify her behavior from when she was with him, in is my opinion.
What an incredible observation that you made.
You said that
no
yourself.
Comment.
That comment was from
no
you,
comment.
wasn't it?
What an incredible observation that you came to on your own volition. Well done. Great job.
Next one is again by Gary Jr., $2. It says, ladies and gents, brother love is in the house. With lots of heartsies and happy faces.
Us. There's that attention you wanted.
And then the last one is from Lewis, $9 super chat. It says, definitely going to try the gentleman game. Barry, you're a G. Swallow and Sartain, salute.
Do you have mine?
Yes, I do have yours. Okay. There is Dill Sanders, $4.99. It says, I think that Keke Palmer's situation with Usher was just as bad. Ironically, it seems like some women want men to be Adam 22 minus
foul.
The testosterone.
100% the Keke Palmer thing. I would have left my girl too. 100%.
What happened?
What was that?
She was it what's his face was dancing all over her. Usher was like grinding all over her.
No, what?
What are you talking about? Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
What is he doing?
He went like she did the spin around.
I'm thinking of a different one. There was one where a girl was engaged. I apologize. And there was a thing where she she sat on his lap and started dancing for him and grinding on him right before she got married, and it was to Usher.
Was that?
I forgot who it was, but and then he dumped her right afterwards, and that 100% I agree with. There's just no way. Like, ladies, I'm going to say this, and several of you are going to disagree with me. If you got cheated on by your husband, how hard would it be for you to find another dude? It wouldn't be. It'd be very easy, Jody. Right? How about you? Same thing. Take 2 seconds.
I don't know.
Ashley, how about you?
I mean, yeah, we're women, so it's easy.
You find one in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Most guys don't want me to
I mean, quality might not be, but we'll find a man.
A guy and a girl are dating in a vacuum, and all of a sudden she cheats on him. Do you have any questions about what happened there? Do you think for a second what's going on? Is he maybe not good in bed? Is he maybe insecure? Do you understand what I'm saying? When women cheat on men, it is so much worse for men than when men cheat on women. When men cheat on women, you don't lose any value. When women cheat on men, we are getting dunked on. I fucked your bitch in some Gucci flip-flops. That is where that comes from. I'm sorry. You can argue with me all you want, and I know some people will be like, well, emotionally, it's the same thing. I agree with you. Emotionally, it's the same thing. I'm saying going further from a sexual market value standpoint, when men get cheated on, everyone's asking questions. When women get cheated on, everyone's asking what her fucking number is so we can DM her.
It's why a lot of women that are not bisexual can also have sex with their man with another woman, because they know that the woman, his woman, is the queen, and that girl is like the vibrator that's in the thing. So that's why it's easier.
No, you know those Lambos you rent when those $30,000 millionaires rent it when you go to Miami. You know those Lambos everybody rents in Miami, and everyone, like every girl who's local in Miami knows that they're rented and the guy's poor. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So those Lambos are like the girl who comes in for the threesome. It's like your beautiful car. We don't dislike the car, but at the end of the day, we're going to take you back to the dealership. That's fine.
Exactly.
We're not trying to disrespect. Incredible car, 400 horsepower car.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
respect it. You're not going to spill anything in it.
We're not going to spill anything in the car.
Who says that the man loses value?
Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
No, because I'm seeing it in a yes. If you're a celebrity and everyone finds out you got cheated on, if everyone finds out you got cheated on and you're a celebrity, you're in the public eye. That makes sense. That maybe people might see you as like, what an idiot. But just normal people.
No, let's say you know the groups of guys who go out to the lake every weekend and go wakeboarding. You know the groups of people that go do it. You know what I'm talking about? There's a bunch of guys from the Wim that do it. You know what I'm talking about.
Do you go outside? Do you do things in the sunshine?
Just think of that.
Trump question.
Think of that the industry clique here, right? In that industry clique, everyone knows everyone's business. All the former waitresses at Wet Republic, all the fucking guys at the Win, they're all kind of in this clique. They all go to the same parties. If one of the dudes gets cheated on, everyone talks.
Right, and that is exactly the same thing as what I'm saying. That guy that works at the Win that takes girls infamously out every weekend on his boat is famous in town. That's what he's known for. I'm talking about regular Joe Schmoes, Denise that lives in Idaho, and
so let's talk to Joe Schmo over here.
Let's talk to the expert.
Go ahead.
A long time ago, I was just a regular Joe Schmo. Okay, and the truth is, I was married to my first wife for 19 years. She was 20, she was 19, I was 21 when we got married. Too young. Okay, the marriage wasn't working for a long time. 7 years of begging for sex and not getting it.
Jeez.
Okay. Finally, I moved, and during that 7 years, people were giving me hints. Okay, and I would come to her defense because I totally loved her, totally trusted her. Okay. I moved out, couldn't take it anymore. I was at the gym with some friends of mine, and after working out, we're sitting in the juice bar, and there happened to be a beautiful woman sitting by herself. And I said to my friends, does anybody know her? She's gorgeous. And they looked at me and they said, why? Don't you know who that is? I said, no, who is she? And they said, well, that's the wife of the guy that your wife's been sleeping with for the last year.
Oh.
Jesus.
Really? And that's how I found out.
Wow.
From my friends. Okay?
Who didn't say shit.
I want you to know, for the next 3 months, they put somebody in my office on suicide watch for me because I would sit at my desk, successful as I was, and break down and cry. Okay? I thought I was totally unlovable.
How old were you?
Listen to this man, please.
How old were you at this point?
I was 40.
Okay.
Okay? I didn't think I could ever date again. It was the worst experience of my life. Okay? So being cheated on like that was terrible. I wouldn't tell my kids. Nothing. All right? She brought the boyfriend in and told my kids.
Jesus Christ.
And then a few weeks later, he broke up with her.
Oh, then he broke up with her later?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have a great relationship with my kids because I never said anything bad about their mother.
Of course.
Okay? But the bottom line is I know how it feels. And so I talk to girls all the time that guys cheat on them. And and I commiserate with them because I know how it feels. But from a guy's standpoint, it took me a long time to get into any kind of a relationship. And
I agree with you, Michael. The man doesn't have to be famous because I've met guys before, and I met a guy specifically who I'm thinking about. If you're watching,
was he the homeless one?
No, he wasn't the homeless one.
I'm supposed to ask you about that. I was trying to get that segue in there.
Damn near homeless.
Okay.
But he told me that he got cheated on by both his exes. And that turned me off. Because I'm like, if someone is cheating on you, something is wrong with you.
Let's just ask you. Katrina, a guy says he got cheated on by both of his exes. Do you imagine he's good in bed? Be honest. Do you imagine he's good in bed?
I like how you give this to Katrina.
I don't know. I would think.
You're just not telling the truth.
I mean, I would think something is wrong,
Thank
but
you.
I don't know if it's his dick size or that
Jody,
he can't get it
the
up.
last two people cheated on him. Would you imagine there was something wrong with him?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. That's my point. And if you guys got cheated on, we wouldn't give 2/10 of a shit. We wouldn't care at all.
It's okay, baby. It's all
That's
right.
because men cheat. That's because men cheat all the time. Women never cheat.
Yeah, but after being cheated on twice, if he's
you're just being funny.
if he's like me,
I disagree.
if he got cheated on twice, if he's anything like me, you make your point to be really good in bed.
Yeah, exactly. You learn something. You learn real
something
quick.
very quickly.
Well, I'll tell you, your story is very similar and sort of dovetails into this very well to Anthony Bourdain. And when Anthony Bourdain committed, self-deletion,
took his own life.
Took his own life.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said that.
Back in now, people were coming to me, and I was with doing the shows with Pat Campbell back then, and they would say he had everything. He had a TV show.
He got
had a
paid
shit ton of
money to eat food with interesting people.
Yes.
And took his own life in a fucking $15,000 suite in Paris, France. He hung himself, and then anyone would want. He could go on anyone's podcast. Everyone loved Anthony Bourdain, and he took his own life, bro. I'm going to explain something because I know you're going to get to this too.
I'm going to go.
You guys ready? If a man is over the age of 40 and his wife leaves him, what is the likelihood? How much more likely is he to kill himself than the general population?
Right.
Yeah.
Self-delete.
He is 9 times. He is 9 times more likely to take his own life. 9 times more likely to take his own life after that. So that's the point we're trying to make. You can keep saying it's the same. It is not the same. It isn't. So that's
but don't
the
they say about the self-deletion that women do it like they don't go through the whole thing?
So
do it more
women,
for like
women and men attempt the same, but because men choose ropes and balconies and pistols, they complete it more. Women choose sleeping pills.
Men off themselves at anywhere between 3.5 to 5 times the rate that women do. So that is a statistical solid fact. So
But they say women are unstable. That's nuts to me.
Well, here's the thing.
But women can recover.
I was going to say, women recover quicker because what happened to you and what happened to Anthony Bourdain is he was zeroed out. Now people say, well, what's that mean? It's usually when the guy loses his job, loses his wife, loses his dog, loses whatever. It's a country song, right? He loses all this stuff, right? And he has to start over again. The older a guy gets, the more difficult it is to say, I got how many more years in my life to keep going? I got to rebuild myself. I got to remake myself. All the shit that I thought was so important up to the time I was 40 or however old, I have 2 choices. I can either delete myself or I can remake myself. And sadly, most guys don't have the creativity, the patience, the determination, or whatever to deal with their discontent creatively. And so what do? They delete themselves. That's exactly what happened to Anthony Bourdain. And what precipitated that? It was his girlfriend, Asia Argento, gallivanting around Italy with her 29-year-old boy toy that made it into the paparazzi that he saw. And she said, please don't put these pictures out. It will really affect Anthony Bourdain. And it did, because she knew what it was going to do. Exactly what you were saying. It was the cheating side of it. Everything else, it's like, okay, I thought this was the one, and now this isn't the one. He had everything. He had money. He had eating food for a living. Had his his fame, incredible food. Still wasn't worth living.
So it sounds like men need women more than women need men.
It depends on the guy, I would say, first of all. But
maybe it's a delusion that women have.
But I will say there is a genuine need, not a want, a need for women and men both need each other.
Jen, how about this? So here's a way to look at it, right? So throughout our evolutionary history, humans have been very violent. They're much more violent than they are now. So since the Magna Carta, which is the concept of man agreeing with other men to build a civilization and society and have rules, Hammurabi's code, etc., etc., the real people, like, it's not kill or be killed anymore. I don't worry about someone stealing my lunch or stealing my car. For the most part, occasionally it does happen, but it's the fringes of society that generally do that. So what happened is, when you go back to times when there was lawlessness and it was the kill or be killed and the strong man survive, you would have situations where you'd have two tribes near each other, and one tribe was sneaky enough to sneak into the other one and kill all the men, all the military-age males. And the women in that tribe had one of two decisions. They either die or they pick a new husband. And so what happened is, the women who had the genetic proclivity to die died, and they did not pass on their genes. And the women who had the genetic proclivity to move on to a new man continued to carry their genes. And so that genetic proclivity, that genetic expression to get over a breakup very quickly, even though you saw your husband get killed, that expression is something that carried on. The women who chose to not do that, as noble as they were, to be loyal to their man to the end, they did not pass on their genes. And the women who did pass on their genes. And so because of that, in general, women get over these breakups. I'm not saying they don't cry. I mean, it's horrible.
Also, do you think because of the whole social media thing, or also like the girl's delusion, like, oh, bitch, don't worry about him. You can keep getting other guys. There's other guys, and all these other guys, because there's options.
That reinforcement.
Exactly.
And there's a lot, I think it's natural. There's a lot of that that goes on with women. We're always like, you could do better than him.
Because they loved your boyfriend before, all of a sudden they hate your boyfriend.
I've noticed that when I put women in a friend zone, they deal with it way better than when men put women in, or when women put men in a friend zone.
Absolutely.
When women put men in a friend zone, and then, like, for instance, this happened with my girlfriend. She had a bunch of, like, she worked at a bar. There was a bunch of dudes there. And when she started dating me, they were always like, wait a second, I was waiting for my turn. What happened? Like, all of a sudden they start professing her love to her. They're like, well, I'm moving to Vegas with my boyfriend. And they're like, no, you can't move. What about my turn? We were going to be together. Like, they started professing men do not deal with being put in the friend zone easily. Whenever I put my female friends who have a crush on me in the friend zone, it's usually like a week or two, and they're just fine with it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Women do not get that butthurt about being put in the friend zone. Again, because women with their sexual proclivities are just more adaptable than women are. They're more adaptable when it comes to bisexuality. They're more adaptable when it comes to getting over breakups. Women are more adaptable to that, because throughout history, they had to be. And you could also make the case that bisexuality was an adaptation for women as far as survivability was concerned, because you had a harem full of women if you're Genghis Khan, and the women in there have to, like, what is a way for me to survive? That's the thing. It's ugly. Again, we are hairless murder apes. If you don't believe it, if you don't believe it, have a look at this book right here.
That's going to be on our merch. That's going to be our
hairless
murder apes of
that's what we are.
Access Dating.
I actually understand Anthony Bourdain, because people look at him, he's like, you're rich, you're this, you're that, but to him, that's just regular life.
He had everything.
He's not waking up every day like, I have more than you.
He had everything except what he wanted.
Right. It's a regular life to him. So he's not thinking, I'm going to leave all this money.
If you have a problem with gratitude, go up to North Vegas and check out what our version of Skid Row, which is up there by back past Chico's Bonitas, back over there on Las Vegas Boulevard.
I was going to say, what's the name of that club again?
That's one place. Number two, just go to Walmart and just walk around if you're having some issue. Like, if you're like, oh man, I can't find anyone today, just go to Walmart.
Just go to Walmart. Here's what you do. When next time you're at the Las Vegas airport and you go from TSA to your gate, just turn off your phone and look at the people.
Just look at the people and just be like, that is what America is.
That's America.
That is what America looks like.
Oh no, it's crazy. When you travel outside of Vegas and like this world, because I'm from Vegas, Bay Area, San Diego, and then you start looking around and you're like, people are not attractive or fit. I went to
Mardi Gras. Ugly people. Where are the pretty people?
No, I even went to Mardi Gras. I went to Mardi Gras when I got my first boobs done, and I'm like, I'm the only nice boobs. My first boobs.
My first boobs.
All right, so the third thing is I would tell you is go rescue an animal, because the thing about rescuing an animal is if you're the richest man in the world or if you're dirt poor, you rescue an animal, it doesn't make any difference. The experience with the animal is going to be the same. You're still going to care about the animal. There's no amount of money that would give me a better experience than when I rescued my 11th cat, Ellie. There's no experience that's going to be better than that to me. So it doesn't matter how much money. If I had $50 million, it would not make any difference for me to have Kobe, Ellie, and Willie, my 3 cats. It's not going to change anything.
I'm on my 9th greyhound right now.
Exactly. So that would be the third thing I would tell you, because that's an experience that the billionaire and the poor person have, is rescuing animals. It's exactly the same for both of them.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Okay, really quickly, Baby Saeed, I'm going to read this myself. Name 3 meals that you can cook. And go.
Chicken piccata.
Good. Wow, all right.
I'm like thinking of things I made
All right,
recently.
well, that's pretty good. I'm hungry. All right, 3 meals. Chicken piccata.
Fried cabbage.
Fried cabbage.
Fried
Fried cabbage.
Tacos.
It's actually
Tacos.
lame.
All right, I believe you can.
Well, you're about to get some marriage proposals here in a second.
Right?
Let's go, Jen.
Name three meals you can make.
Honey barbecue ribs, macaroni and cheese, 4 cheese macaroni and cheese, arroz con gandules, roasted chicken, fried chicken.
Look at the chat. Look at the chat. They're not. They ain't 304s no more. They're not 304s no more.
I like
honey
cooking.
roasted chicken. Honey roasted chicken.
I like cooking.
I can look past some shit for some honey roasted chicken. Let's go, Jody. What can you cook?
I
Isn't
cook
this better than 3 countries?
So I cook really healthy. So.
Okay.
But it's like turkey meatloaf, turkey meatballs that are paleo and keto.
She'll keep you skinny. That's right.
I make these really like yummy. They're protein balls.
Okay.
I've had those before.
Katrina, what can you cook?
I'm kind of like her. I cook really healthy stuff. So like turkey meatballs, keto pizza.
It can't be me.
Tacos.
I love it for you.
Tacos.
I don't cook healthy. I don't cook healthy.
Barry, do you cook?
I cook.
Yes.
Can you cook 3 meals?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. I cook an amazing ribeye steak better than most steak restaurants. Okay.
All you got to ask a man is like, what do you
I've had it at one of the bikini competitions at his house. I've had the steak.
He's had it. Okay. Barbecue chicken.
There you go.
Okay. And salmon 3 different ways.
Yep. Nothing but protein. I'm coming to your house.
Well, my mom's
And guess what? A year ago, I turned vegan.
Really? Oh, wow.
Oh.
Okay.
And it's killing me.
I
was about to say you're going to live long.
I'm done. Kick him out.
My mom's from the South, so I know like all the southern dishes like chicken divine, fried chicken, fried pork chops, mashed potatoes. I know the whole from scratch mac and cheese. Don't play, girl baked. But then I also am like them because when I got older, I got into fitness. I know how to cook everything a little bit healthier now.
Right.
Nice. What are you gonna make us, Jess?
Go on my Instagram story. I have a whole highlight reel of my chef things. I used to go to school for being That's what I came out to Vegas
name
for.
3. Just name off the top of your head.
Jesus Christ.
What's
I
on
make the best porterhouse you've ever had. I promise you, my steaks are divine. Any Puerto Rican dish that you want, some picadillo.
Can you imagine this?
Yeah,
she comes home, your Playboy model girlfriend, and she cooks all this food for you.
I've got your PlayStation controller.
You have to tolerate all the sex.
And a bitch in the corner.
You have to tolerate all the sex that she makes you have with other women.
But I'm flat chested.
And she's flat chested. She's flat chested. Can you imagine this? Who would fucking deal with this? This is crazy. Incredible.
Can you make anything?
Me?
I don't think I've ever asked you.
I can heat up some Chipotle.
Yeah, Sula.
MREs, meals ready to eat. Shout out to the guys in the army. MREs that fucking
you add the one.
What's it called? The spaghetti. You know what I'm talking about? The SpaghettiOs with the hot sauce and that bitch.
No, stop.
And they give you that brownie. That brownie. Woo, that brownie. You won't take a shit for 3 weeks, bro. That brownie. There is so much sodium.
It's made for you to not take shit.
There is so much sodium in a fucking MRE, bro. You will be pooping salt, bro. I'm trying to tell you. I can cook that. I can cook that. Had the little heater pack.
That was a good question. Thank you. I'd rather ask that one than can you name 3 countries?
No, my favorite part of that. So for the rest of you guys that don't know, the reason why he's saying that when we did the Fresh and Fit podcast,
we do it here too occasionally.
But they went around. They try to be like at the very beginning. Oh, we don't make you girls look dumb. You guys make yourselves look dumb. That was what they said right before we're like, and start the podcast. So then they go around the table and they start saying, okay, name 3 countries. Name 3 countries.
Some people were naming states.
When they got to the end of the cycle of girls at the table, we get back to, what's his ugly face name? What's his name?
Oh, Lord.
I don't know. We're talking about those 2 wonderful dudes.
No.
Wonderful gentlemen. Who are you talking about?
It was nice, but the other guy that swears he's the shit. What's his name? No.
He's talking about Myron Gaines.
Yes, that guy.
I'm just saying
that guy. So he's sitting there, and Katie, one of the girls, goes, now you name 3 countries. He's like, you know, fuck this, and didn't want to answer.
Stop.
Honey, please. When I tell you.
Wow.
I left like 15 minutes after.
So are we naming 3 countries?
No.
You don't have to if you don't want
to. For the most part, our girls have been able to name 3 countries.
How about this? Name 3 countries the United States has been at war with. Ready? Go.
That's
Russia.
The United States has been at war with at some point in the last 247 years. Name 3 countries the U.S. has been at war with.
Pretty much name every single guy.
Ready? I got some of those for you. No, Mexico, the United Kingdom, and Cambodia. How about those? No, Cambodia was not officially a war. All right, no, don't worry about it. We'll keep going. Actually, let's get to Adam 22 before we run out of time.
Yeah, we had to do that too. We got to get to Margot Robbie too. My goodness. I got
go fast.
All right, but okay. So there's been an update. Are you guys aware of what's going on with Adam 22 and Lena the Plug?
Fear does not know anything about this. You do not know anything about. Okay, so let's go ahead and reset it. Adam 22 is the host of the No Jumper podcast, probably top 5 podcast in the world. Really, really popular. But they get demonetized often because they're
constant. I'm still waiting for my episode of
their two main areas of expertise is pornography and rappers. Like they are constantly porn, rappers. That's the main people, and then they have other podcasters on there. They're a little bit the main guy, Adam 22. He has a lot of neck tattoos, and he's also a male porn star at the same time while doing this. He and his wife Lena the Plug have filmed scenes with like 300 women, and they film porn together. She has never filmed with a man ever. She said the other day she's never hadn't even been with another man for 7 years other than her husband. They have a show together called Plug Talk. The way it works is the two of them interview a girl on the couch, and then during the show, there's no transition. He just stands up, pulls his dick out, and then they just fuck her right there. It's crazy. They sit there and be like, they just imagine if like Joe Rogan is sitting there interviewing someone, and then they just get up and start fucking. There's like no transition. It's fucking crazy. You can look it up on Twitter. So anyway, finally they get married a couple weeks ago, and a week after they get married, she then says, "I'm going to film my first scene with another man." And she picks Jason Love, who's an extremely well-endowed, large African-American man. And she films the first scene, which came out today.
Yes, I haven't seen it. I have an update, but continue.
Okay, so I always thought that today we'd find out that the whole thing was a troll and the whole thing was made up.
No, unfortunately, no.
It was not. Anyway, so
although it was quite the build-up. Respect the hustle, Adam.
So now what's happened is he is now the most trending topic in the world, in the entire world. Like, everyone has been talking about it, absolutely the most trending thing, because what's happened is now he's regretting the fact that he let his wife just get like ran through by some dude. So they do some interviews together, and he's like, "So how's the upholstery working?" He goes, "Well, she's like, oh, it really still hurts a little bit. I'm waiting for everything to like bounce back into shape."
Really stretched me out.
Bro, he really stretched me out. And then Aiden Ross asked them on a live stream today, said basically, "So which do you prefer? You've been with your husband for 7 years, and you just finally had this new guy, Jason Levin." He goes, "Well, just to be honest with you, I've been with, Jason was pretty amazing, like all the stuff he was doing." And Aiden got up and ran out of the room. He couldn't even listen to the shit. It was so crazy.
Wow.
He couldn't even listen. So here's the thing. Before we get to this, for me personally, if that's the standard that he has in his relationship, I'm not going to judge him. I can't do that with Jonah Hill and then not do that with him. And that's my point. They set their boundaries. So I can't say that this is wrong. And he can't go back and say that this is wrong, even though he feels bad about the fact that she had sex with someone else. However, the rest of the world is dunking on him like crazy. Andrew Tate is talking about him with Tucker Carlson a couple of days ago. When I say this is the big, like across the world, this is probably the biggest single thing that's gone viral in the world is this Adam 22 situation.
And I am not. By
the way, Adam 22 is coming on this podcast here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
yes.
we're in the works right now. We'll have Sharp next week, by the way, who is also on this thing. I'm still of the opinion that this has been a bit. From the beginning, it's a hose job. It's been planned this way from the beginning.
I always thought that you're going to go to Brazzers and you're going to start watching the video, and he was going to come in, and then he was going to walk out of the room, and then Adam 22 was going to walk in and he goes, "Gotcha, bitch, gotcha. Now I know who my friends are, you stupid motherfuckers." And the video is going to get like 48 billion views.
Yeah. Well, so apparently it's getting. I've got some updates here, so you guys in the chat, you can stop DMing me. I'm going to read it. But no, I was just on Green Talk or Green Talk,
Green Room Radio,
Green Room, talking about this stuff, and I'm of the opinion that this is probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, marketing scams I have ever seen pulled off in like the social media age right now. When I was there doing my show with Flacco that same day, Sneeko just happens to be there. Destiny, who is like probably one of the most infamous cucks. We've done our debates with him before.
But to be fair, Destiny is bisexual and allows his wife to sleep with other guys.
He's infamous for that fact. He happens to be there, and then John from Monolife Dating was there. But Destiny's there, and he is actually doing an interview with Adam 22 right when he's making the announcement that this is what happened. Lena just did her porn with Jason. And he's saying, "I really feel insecure because, I've never let this happen before, and I'm feeling jealousy and all this other stuff." And it's kind of weird because he's feeling it for the first time. Okay, honestly, I think it's bullshit. But there's this buildup. Then Jason releases a video saying like, "Oh, Adam was actually the guy who was the cameraman the whole time, right?" So now So now there's this buildup. So that's day 2. Day 3 is the video. He said like, "Oh, he really stretched me out," kind of thing, and then just progressively on up to the last part, like who was better in bed, that kind of stuff. And so for the last 2 weeks, this has been going on for 2 weeks, right up until right now, and I'm going to read you what Domo just sent me here. Before the release, I want to see. I said this on Green Room yesterday. I want to see the numbers on this. I want to see what the hype was, and I want to see how many people watch this and how much money they made off of this, because I can't imagine it's not in the tens of millions.
So this is what I did with my audience on like last Monday. I said, okay, how many of you guys would let your girl like film with another dude? And of course, almost all of them said no. Right. And I said, how many of you guys would let your girl film with another dude if you got to sleep with 300 women and she slept with one dude? And nobody knew about it. And then about 70% of the guys were like, okay, I might do that. And then I was like, now, you got to sleep with 300 women. She slept with one dude. People knew about it, and you got $10 million in the bank. Would you then accept that? And dudes were like, no, but they meant to say yes. But like that's essentially, when you think about it from Adam 22 situation, which nobody seems to. And again, I would not have done the same thing.
All right, I'm gonna read you Domo's commentary. This is her play-by-play. She's watching this, and she's tweeting while we're doing this show here. So I told her I would read this. Okay, she says, let's see. I just started watching it. They did a little trick. I don't know what that means. It's not released on Plug Talk yet. They directed you to subscribe to her page, and that's where it was released to. So now that's where the money's going, right? So
she gets 100% of the money from this.
She's going to get all that. Okay, so they released it. She's like, "Oh my God," she says. "Oh, she was not thinking about Adam at all during any of this, the ongoings here." And then she's like, "Oh my God, this is crazy. This is fucking crazy." And I guess when he finished inside of her, how's about that?
God.
I'm trying to make this YouTube friendly.
Yeah, but that's she said. Didn't he say that? No. He said on her, no kissing and no on the face. That's what he said.
Apparently,
those are the 2 rules.
Finished inside her. So I'm throwing that out. I'm trying to be as diplomatic
face
as
bad,
I can.
Vagina
yeah,
good.
exactly. Bred her. Oh, got it. Okay, so it says, "Wow, this is way beyond what she thought it was going to be." She says they got a wild ass kink thing going on. So apparently, it's for real.
Dude, again, one more time for the guys out there. I know again, for me personally, I would just rather make $10 million on my own. But the thing is, $10 million, you get to sleep with 300 women, and your wife sleeps with one dude. I wouldn't take the deal, but I know a lot of dudes would.
Yeah. Then your relationship is just based off transactional. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
I wouldn't ruin my relationship over a one time.
They don't seem to have ruined their relationship. They seem to be happy as shit together now.
But he
just said he was regretting it.
No.
You just said he regretted it.
Dude, I am sure they are sitting at home with a tablet going, "Look at all these suckers." He said,
I started regretting it when she went to go film. But then he said afterward, he goes, "We're good. We cuddle. We've been having lots of sex. Everything's fine with us."
All right.
And then there's the other issue with the kids too.
And he said, he said it was good for business. And when Tate made the comment he made,
you can't pay for that kind of exposure.
Adam 22 said, "If you're a top G, I'll be bottom G."
I'll be the bottom G.
And she said, "Thanks for promoting it." So
I guess I can see
they're
that.
all the way to the bank, taking the criticism all the way to the bank. So
I mean, what do they say? Like any publicity is good publicity, even if it's bad.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah.
He said it's been good for business. So.
Listen, I watched Nick Fuentes explain to 8 African American women that African Americans are dumber than white people, and those women thanked him at the end of it.
And laughed at it.
I believe anything is possible at this point.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I believe anything is possible.
So would you say we're beyond that Overton window now?
Go watch it. I'll send you the clip.
Please send it to me.
I will send you the clip.
So that is the Adam 22.
Don't send me the clip.
Okay.
I'll die.
So the reason. Okay. So what's the point of even bringing all this stuff up? I am fascinated by this simply because I have been trying to sort of wrap my head around how we're going to do marriage going forward into the 21st century. Because apparently they're married, and this is a marriage. Mm-hmm. And when I look at like someone say like Destiny, who's got his wife goes out and she goes bangs whoever she wants, and he goes and does the same thing. Every guys and girls.
But isn't Destiny gay?
Is that well?
He's bisexual.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, but the thing is, Adam 22.
According to Circa, he is a homosexual.
Homosexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Adam 22 isn't. That's the difference.
I know, but
Well, so
so it was really funny. So I talked to Adam Sosnick today, and I was like, Adam kept saying, "There's no way I would let anybody fuck my wife. Would you? And let someone fuck your wife?" And he was asking all the people, and then he goes, "Do you think that's cheating?" There's no way I would do it. I'm like, dude, Destiny's sitting right next to you. Like, why are you saying this? I messaged him like, well, I was so confused watching this. Like, Destiny lets other people have sex with his wife. Like, why are you saying this? And he goes, yeah, I was just kind of confused. I was like, Adam, what are you talking about?
He's not confused. He knows damn well what he's doing.
I think he was.
At this point, he knows what he's. But if you watch, more power to him.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. And so my point is this is like, I've talked this over with like our friend Aaron Clary. I've talked this over with Glenn and Coco on a few occasions. Like, how are we going to do marriage? What does marriage look? What is marriage? I don't think Matt Walsh should be asking what is a woman. I think he needs to ask what is marriage and how does that look going forward? Because now we're looking at, just last week we had a throuple here. I didn't know that was the throuple, but that was the throuple, okay? And I'm like, this is how they're doing marriage. Destiny does it open on his end, open on her end. If you're looking at, say, someone like yourself or Justin Waller or the Tates, it's like it's closed on their end, closed on the girls' end, open on your end.
What's a Waller?
Technically, Justin Waller.
Yeah, because I would never have sex with a woman that has a man, but I would have a woman be with my man.
Would you marry that guy?
I would marry
my. Would you be in a situation like that?
No, listen.
Well, you are.
You have to. So basically, as beautiful she is, I wouldn't have sex with her because she has a man. Does that make sense?
Right.
But I would have my own man having other women that are.
You wouldn't be with the woman with a man while you have a man,
like so.
Or even if you were single, you wouldn't go into a couple.
Let's say that right now.
You would not unicorn.
What concept?
Unicorn is a third.
Before you finish that,
I'm the main female.
You would never unicorn.
Right. I would never.
I get unicorned all the time.
Yeah. So
what's a unicorn?
Lesbian couple. When I was single, baby. When I was single.
Yeah. So
when I was single,
I wouldn't be with her her man. But because I would never
be with me with your man.
Yes, because I don't sleep with.
So like my question is this: is like depending on the arrangement, and maybe you can answer this. What constitutes cheating? What is cheating? What is cheating
something that the partner doesn't know about?
Exactly.
Anything that has to be hidden or that doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not discussed prior. That's cheating. 100%. Period.
You have to set a boundary.
Text messages, calls.
If the boundary is set and you understand, then it's okay. But if you're doing things behind that person's back and it's malicious or whatever, then that's cheating. So if let's say I have a boyfriend at home right now and we go have sex. And even though it's a female and I didn't tell him about it, that's cheating to me.
Because essentially, I mean, they weren't married, but that's essentially what Jonah Hill and Sarah, what's her face? I mean, it's this. Well, we're going to establish boundaries. Okay, from within those boundaries, apparently cheating or some approximation of that was her going and putting up pictures and hanging out with Point
that's
Break.
His boundary, and
right.
She had the option to leave.
Right.
And that's the whole point. Is I think what happens is. We keep hoping that he won't leave or he's just being crazy or insecure. So I'm going to keep staying. I'm going to keep pushing the bullet. And what's going to happen is a lot of guys don't do the reprimand to pushing the boundary. A lot of guys are like, "No, I'm mad at you." Whereas Jonah's like, "I'm breaking up with you," and that doesn't happen. That really does not happen. And usually, most men will just put up with it. They just keep going. They keep getting mad, and the relationship keeps getting more toxic.
Right.
And so I think that's a problem right now. I think more men need to take a stand and actually if they put a boundary down, that's the boundary.
And this comes back to my point here. And I was about to tell you this is that men are not allowed to have standards today. We can't have standards. And when we do, we're called misogynists, we're called manipulative, we're called judgmental, we're called every name in the book, because anything that infringes on a woman's independence. And anyway, like those homosexual guys who are the therapists on there. Oh, can you believe it's her body? She can do whatever she wants to with it. That's not even the part of the scenario in any of this. But that's the direction that it goes.
Rolo, I feel like there's the line that maybe there's a specific line. Okay, I'm gonna just use an example.
For cheating.
No. A specific line for men having standards or whatever, not being allowed to. There's a way to go about it though. I have heard endless clips on TikTok and Instagram, men saying that they refuse to date a single mom. Now, I don't have kids, but I take offense to that because they're telling the entire world that a woman with a child is basically coming to them with baggage. She's used up. She's damaged good.
Less than.
They're cuckolding themselves.
Right. So It's okay to have standards. It's okay to have a preference. What it's not okay is for you to degrade somebody that's not within your preference. And that is the difference. When a man has a standard, him going around saying that girl's too fat, you don't have to say that she's fat. She's not your preference.
You just
Move
filter
on.
her.
Or you look like a 304 because you have fake boobs.
Right. Everyone's going to say some nasty shit.
You're not a 304 for fake boobs. You're awesome.
Here's the thing. Everyone has if a guy says, I don't want to get with a single mom because she has baggage. I don't want to get with a fat chick because I'm not into fat chicks. And that's for a guy.
Your issue is the language, not that they have a preference.
It's not a preference. You are allowed. Everybody has a preference.
But here's a problem. Okay, so if a woman says, I only want a guy who's 6 feet tall.
Okay.
I don't take offense to that because I'm a dude and I understand and I can wrap my head around the fact that women select for height. So if a guy is taller, he tends to be more attractive.
5'4".
But seriously, but if you go and you look statistically at like the filters that women put on, like say Tinder and stuff like that, they're putting it at 6 feet and above.
Absolutely.
Right. So
but if a woman is saying, I don't want a man that's under 6 feet, what's the difference between a man saying, I don't want a fat woman?
Because fat is optional and you can choose that. 6 feet, you can't.
No, I'm saying the language.
It's fine.
If he can say it, she can say it.
It's fine either way. The thing is, when women say, I prefer men who are taller, really no one calls them out. With the exception of like a few of these panel shows, it doesn't happen. When men say, I prefer women who are
then
skinnier,
it's like, body positive.
It's you are being shamed for not being body positive. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Well, and it's not offensive for you to say, I only want a guy who in the case of CJ Sparks, I only want a guy who makes $5 million a year. Right?
It's not offensive,
and that's not offensive to me. But it's still along the same lines of like this is what I filter for. This is what I prefer. So when you have like women making songs about I don't want to have a broke ass motherfucker. It's my boyfriend, right? I don't take offense to that, but maybe guys ought to take more offense to that because it's the same dynamic as what you.
No, men are already offended enough online. Please, they're already offended enough. I just think I don't mind the language. If a man says I don't want a fat woman, I don't care how you say it. He's just expressing what he doesn't like.
So by the way, that hate and that pushback, that shame, that everything else, not only does it come from women, it comes from other guys too who are trying to say, yeah, girl, those guys are real. Those guys are sons of bitches.
So just consider this: if a woman started texting a man, and this woman was just like a famous woman. He started saying, I don't appreciate you hanging out with these girls who are wild. I don't want you hanging out with your guy friends who are single. And I don't like the fact that you go out there and you're friends with these girls on social media. I don't want you going to these certain locations. I guarantee you, I will bet you any amount of money that those two therapists would call that healthy boundary setting, and they would not call it controlling. Because a woman did that to a man. That is the point we're trying to make. Women are entitled to preference. I don't disagree with that. It's just that men are too, and when they express preference, then all of a sudden they're shamed and they're called controlling.
I think it's because the dominant, I feel like a dominant man is not allowed these days. And a man putting his foot down and telling his boundaries is a person that's trying to control you, rather than a man actually knowing what he wants and what he doesn't want. And it, unfortunately, which sucks, because then a woman like me that actually wants a dominant man and has finally learned how to be submissive, I've been getting a lot of submissive men that are tiptoeing around,
walking on eggshells.
And also, and my thing is, I really hate when women say, oh, I want a man that I can build up, I can do this. I'm sorry. Okay, so my age is 33. I'm not old, but I'm old, and I can't stand when I have to sit there and lecture my man about what it is to be a man, and be like, yo, this is what a man is supposed to be.
You want him to get it.
I want him to get it and I get the frustration where it comes to me too. So it's you want me to just get it and be a female and be feminine. But it is very frustrating, and it's not sexy. It's not attractive, because you're thinking to yourself,
you have to explain masculinity to a man.
And that's a problem because they don't have the tribal upbringing in order to have that masculinity, and they don't have the locker room hijinks to learn that any of those things. There should be a way for people at this age to learn masculinity. MOAmentoring.com.
And
MOAmentoring.com.
And they need that, because honestly, so the last question is, so all the podcasts always ask, how much money would you have to date a man, right? So I've dated a man that literally made absolutely nothing. Nothing. He lived under my house. I paid for his schooling. I paid for all his food. Under my roof. I'm sorry. Under my roof.
On the crawl space.
He was putting it down, huh? He was putting it down.
Yes, and also I had a lot of money because I was bottle service. I had a lot of money, and I just wanted to I just wanted somebody to like just do all the things with me who had no responsibilities, right? But the problem with that is, which I didn't realize that men actually kind of have it hard. Because I realized when this house burnt down, I had to put my dog on my back, him on my back, and I had to figure out a way to save us both, which I was like, that's scary to me. 2, if I wanted to have a kid and let's say like I have complications, can he pay for me when I'm like in the hospital? Yeah. That's hard.
Provisioning.
Yes. And then it was a lot of stress in general. I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is not okay. Like, I don't want a man that makes nothing or that just sits under me.
Well, it's not just stress. It's that you lose respect.
Yeah.
Because you are a goal-oriented person. And if that person doesn't have goals and just wants to
fire under his ass,
pick up his socks,
and that was my last thing too. Is like
that's what happens.
He also is like, it was like almost like a child where he didn't respect how much I made to bring him the lifestyle that he had. I was taking him to Gucci. He got whatever he wanted. Louis,
yo, there's a bunch of dudes in the chat like, what's this girl's number? I get to live in it.
I was Sugar Mama Central.
What? Yo, Sugar Mama.
He got all the threesomes.
Got the threesomes. Got the Gucci bag. Put a 1 in the chat if you're down for the threesomes and the Gucci bag. Put a 1 in the chat.
So not like he didn't understand what he had, that he took it so far for granted. Like
that penis must have been cow.
I know he must have been laying down the D because that's the only thing. That's the only like redeemable
men with no
quality.
money have the best penis. That's crazy.
And he was 5'4".
Well, and you know why? And you know why that is?
It's very confusing.
She's like, you know why that is though? It's because you have already more or less taken care of your long-term security. You already got the money, you got the bag, you got your education, provisioning, protection, and parental investment. You've taken it upon yourself. You become the man you wanted to marry, right? And so what's left? Well, I don't need a man. I want a man. Okay, what kind of man do you want? Well, apparently he lays down the D. That's probably the only criteria at that point.
Jen,
because you've taken care of everything else.
Say it again. What did you say? The man with no money?
I said the man with no money has the best penis.
Tell us about the homeless. Is this a homeless guy? Is this a homeless guy?
The best sex I ever had was from a guy that was homeless.
That's their transaction.
No,
he was homeless while you were.
Hold on, stop. We need to get a clip here. One more time. Let's put it on her face. And one more time, explain how the best sex you've ever had was with a guy who was homeless. Go.
The best sex I've ever had was from a man who was homeless.
He needed a place to stay.
Yeah. He worked. He better work.
Homosexual. What is that? Homosexual.
A hobosexual.
Homosexual. There is
homosexual.
Homosexual.
So wait, he was actually like homeless living on the street?
When I met him, he had a place. Then we got together. Then we were on and off a lot. And then he was actually sleeping on the beach and taking a shower at 24 Hour Fitness.
That's a life.
Yeah.
So he really was Point Break.
He made it work.
He really was. And you know that's one of my favorite movies ever. That's one of my favorite movies ever. Yeah, and then I did the whole thing like, oh my God, no, you could be better than this. I got a place. Just come to New York and stay with me.
Why did you do that?
And let me tell you, he paid rent with that penis, and it was good.
It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
You understand.
And so now you're getting older, and the thing is, what sucks about getting older is like, you kind of settle for things, but then you don't want to ever do that again.
Right.
Because you're like, man, like I do need you to have money. I do need you to do this.
Yeah, because your standards went up.
You know, as a guy, it's the same thing. Like, I only cared. Like, the things I would tolerate for a girl with really big boobs when I was 25 years old was outrageous. Like, I would like literally anything. And now it's like, you know, there has to be a lot of things going on, like namely loyalty.
Mike, you have a type, and I know what the type is.
You know what's funny? I took this guy, right, helped him out, cleaned him up, showered him down, shaved him down. You know what I mean? Made him walk upright. And men, but here's the thing: men will try to shame me for picking like the loser or whatever, but I'm like, and then you get mad when we say we want 6 figures.
Yes.
So which one is it?
Yes.
So
you want a shot?
Yes.
What happened to him after you broke up with him?
Probably still on the beach.
No, he
actually had sex with Lena the Plug today on Rogers.
He's actually still living off women. He's still living off women.
And that's what they do.
So Cinder Swindler of the beach.
Oh yeah, yes. When I saw that movie, I was like, that's him.
I feel like Fresh and Fit and all these people want to talk about how women are like this, but a lot of modern men these days, they don't do what it takes to make money to provide. They literally are like women. They they live off of other people or just happen to come upon something. And maybe it's because I'm in Vegas. But my thing is, no offense to anybody that does any type of sex work, no OnlyFans. It's no offense.
Get it how you live.
But my thing is, the reason why I never got into it is because as a bottle service girl, I was working at a strip club. And I thought to myself, I would never do that a day in my life because, oh my God, you're a whore. Okay, that's when I was younger. I started working in a strip club, realizing everybody's kind of like a normal person, whatever. But I'll never be a stripper. Only reason I never got into that, because even as a bottle service girl, it was so hard, even with a degree, to get out of bottle service after so long of making money, because my resume was only nightlife and had nothing to do with my degree. So even getting the job that I'm in right now, it was so hard. And it is a trap. Like, unless you're working and saving all your money to get to do something that's not sex work, you're making so much money in OnlyFans and stripping and stuff like that. You just fall into the trap. And that's what scared me, because I'm like, I'm going to love this money and the security that I'm not going to know how to get out of this. And even getting the job that I have right now, it took me forever. And it was just by like luck that I got it. And I'm like, thank God.
That is a modern dilemma for women right now, because I'll tell you, I've seen women. There's a very famous one. I think she was like a LVN, or she was like a emergency room nurse or something like that, making a good. Went to 6 years of college. I'm not so sure how long it takes you to go through all that, but I mean, was one of the higher up nurses. And she just gave it up for OnlyFans, because 6 years in college to get your medical degree or whatever it takes to get to become a registered nurse, and you make more money selling pictures of your ass on OnlyFans. Like, who's going to take, money here? Or you can go have a respectable nursing career with high stress. You're dealing with cleaning bedpans and fucking around with a lot of bodily fluids. You probably don't want to be fucking around.
It's so crazy how, like, so I'm old school. I used to listen to 3 6 Mafia, and I listen to like a lot of Houston rap. So when I listen to Megan Thee Stallion, I love her shit. She's like a female fucking Project Pat. I love her music. And then I listen to her lyrics and I'm like, God damn, this is the end of women. Like, when I listen to her shit, I'm like, I love this music, and then at the same time, this is the worst shit you could possibly tell. I do not want a daughter of mine listening to this shit. It's like I'm so conflicted when I listen to her. I'm like, bro, that's a beat from fucking 3 6 Mafia from like 23 years ago. And then I listen to what she's saying, I'm like, no.
Not again. Never again. I tell you, one of the things that guys tell me is, like, whenever they become red pill aware and they start listening to me and everything, they can't listen to, like, because listening to the lyrics is hard for them. Old music from like the 80s that they used to like sing out loud in their cars, like, I can't sing this anymore, it's too
I have to I mean, after experiencing this, like, I have an ex I gotta call and apologize to.
Oh yeah? You're gonna go and do that?
Because it's the boundaries thing, and I realize now, after this, that I set all these boundaries, but I was like, well, I can still do this and I can still be cute online, but you better not. If I catch you know what I mean? I was open and he was closed.
One of the things I love,
and I didn't get it then.
When I I manage all these contests or whatever, and I talk to a bunch of girls, and they'll be really honest with me, and they'll say crazy shit. They'll be like, yeah, I fuck around with these other guys. I have like 3 or 4 sugar daddies or whatever, but my boyfriend cannot talk to any other girls. I will fucking kill him. And I'm just like listening to this, and it's like crazy. These are huge models that I know that do this too, and you just hear it, and I'm like, well, this has got to be anecdotal. This is not like the majority of women, but then I see it happen all the time.
I did it. I did it. I think every time, in every relationship.
Did what?
Just the open close thing that Rolo was talking about. I always felt like I can have my male friends and I can post these pictures. But if I see you even breathing the same oxygen as another woman,
as that
I'm
waitress.
Scorching. Right, I'm turning the table over. So I'm like, I'm sorry. I think you know who you are. My bad.
Insight.
It's called growth. But I'm so much better now. Now I'm the girl that will text and call and be like, hey, I apologize for last night. I was projecting. It wasn't even your fault. I'm there now. Wasn't there back then. But now I'm like, my bad.
Again, that's what comes with age and maturity. These 18-year-old and 19-year-old girls are not going to give that to you.
Well, they don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
You know what really kills me, and I hate saying this because I don't like generalizing things, but men have this disillusion that, like, oh, if I get with an 18 or 19-year-old girl, it's a lot less dudes have been inside her. Yep. I know so many people who have lost their virginity at 15, and by 19 years old, they've got 50 under their belt.
Yep.
I'm 36 years old. I've got 3 men under my belt. It's not about like less bodies. The girl can come to you and say, "I've never
four
had
times
sex.
more women than I have men.
I'm a virgin," and you will eat it up.
Oh yeah, and you'll
eat it up.
believe every bit
and
of it
you'll believe it.
I was on Fresh and Fit one time, and I was seated next to a very attractive girl who was about 19 years old, and they were doing, of course, the body count thing. What's your body count, right? And she said something to, I think she said like she had 15 or something with it, and she's 19 years old.
Jeez.
15 up to that point, and then but she looked like it was like, and the girls at the table were like, no big deal, right? And I'm like, you are 19 years old, like that.
Which your body count is completely up to you. No one can shame you. If you lost it at 12 and you've had 100 since, it doesn't matter.
No,
that is your shit.
Ladies, keep it. I'm telling you, keep it all in as much as you can.
Keep what in.
Don't just
keep what in.
Keep all the things.
So should
in
body
your
count
pants.
matter or not?
The last time you guys asked me that, I said my body count to somebody else shouldn't matter, and I don't care about my man's body count.
Just have sex with women.
You realize that it is important.
Okay, first off, Ashley's completely right. Just have sex with women. That is
Just
the
have
correct.
sex with
That's how it
That
works.
is the correct answer. Those don't count. In fact, having sex with
Those
women
don't count.
it reduces your body count. Like it goes down.
It goes down.
It goes down.
And you know what? You'll
by
learn
one
so
by
much
fucking
about
women.
vaginas and yourself.
Yeah,
and-
exactly. I'm right there with you. I completely agree with that.
Done.
Having sex with women does not
But
count. for women.
I'll say this is like when she said that, I was kind of like, wow, like. It was one of the first times I was kind of
You
like...
were judgy?
I wasn't judgy. I was just kind of taken aback. Like, you have a lot of mileage for... Like, I mean...
mileage.
Well, no, think about it. How long could she have been
generally,
having sex? If she did it legally,
Yeah, that's
like,
a lot.
since she was 18? She had 50... Like, let's just say, for sake of art, maybe it was 16, okay? Whatever.
So like
That's
1.5 a month since she lost it.
That's the. I mean,
a
that's
lot.
there are
I
porn.
agree.
There are porn stars who don't have that kind of record. Like they have to, they got to get checked and go do a scene and kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And so when I'm listening to this, I'm going, okay, this is a different lifestyle. This is a different time right now, and this is a different And what is going to happen with that girl or women who are like that, where they have OnlyFans or they have even just Instagram right now? That digital footprint is going to follow her from wherever she is, from the time she was on Fresh and Fit and said, I had 15 guys, right?
Or like
all
those,
the way on
those
into her
girls on the
future.
streets, like, tell me your secret. Oh, well, I got gangbanged by 20 guys one time in a frat. Like, wait, hold up. Did you
Now,
just admit that?
I'll also explain this to you.
Are you talking about Kazumi? Shout out to Kazumi.
One of the
Kazumi, come on the
reasons-
podcast, girl. Get on here.
Now I'm gonna back you up just a bit here. One of the reasons why guys get so like they think that if they find an 18-year-old girl, she's going to be a virgin. No, she's not. Clearly, the 19-year-old sitting next to me with 15 body. That's maybe that's not like demonstrable of like the masses of women her age.
That is not the middle of the deviation.
Yeah, definitely not. But the thing is the idea that you're going to find your virgin bride in a Western developed, a weird nation, Westernized, industrial
republic,
rich, educated, and democratic nation is like I don't know what the percentages are, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty low. Pretty low. Yeah.
But do you think Western men are built for virgins? Because what's going to happen is he's going to get sick of having sex with her because she's not experienced, and he's going to want.
Yeah, that's not an issue. Like, I'm sorry, I'm here to tell you guys, like, we don't care. Like, it really, when women are not experienced, they're just really hot.
The only people who have a problem with that online are the ones who are flexing because all they're doing is jerking off at home.
Yeah,
they're
I'm just gonna tell you,
asocial. They have no social skills, and because those are usually the people who are in the haters in the chat who are saying, "Oh, all these girls are fake. They got fake boobs, they got fake lips, they got fake ass, they got fake this." I would never. I have more respect for myself than to ever.
But they can't get us to save their lives.
Well, but see, that's what they expect you to say. The real answer to this is the idealistic girl that they're looking for certainly does not exist in the United States. That's how you get passport bros. They think they're going to go off to like Philippines or Guam or where Southeast Asia to find some virgin bride from a third world country and bring her back over. And I will tell you this: as soon as you bring her back here, she will turn into exactly the person that you thought that she would never turn into. So it's like you have to take it in balance. Take the measurements.
Michael, but wouldn't you prefer a freak in bed?
You can teach her. It just doesn't matter. Like you can just teach her. And really, like I'm gonna tell you, guys, listen to me. Hold on, listen. In the chat, guys, listen. In the
I
chat,
think a bad stroke is worse than a girl that's unexperienced.
Oh, if you had a stroke, you mean like you had like an embolism, like an embolism. Listen, here we go. Okay, guys, in the chat, if you agree with me, let me know. If you would rather be with a girl who's not that good in bed, but is very young and extremely attractive, or a girl who is not quite as attractive, a little bit older, has been with a few men, and is extremely good in bed, who would you rather be with? One, if you would rather be with a girl who is just really attractive and has not been with very many men and not very experienced and keeps putting her teeth on it, or the other girl The other girl who's a freaking bad, but she's been with a lot of guys. 1 or 2. Put right in the chat, and you'll see.
What constitutes?
Well, they're gonna want to marry her, but they're gonna want to sleep with the other one because it's one thing to teach somebody, and then another thing for it to be natural, right?
That's the one.
Because you can marry the virgin, the one that's not. Oh my gosh, and then that girl at the club is like. And then everything changes.
No. You misunderstand. We're high status.
Put the camera on her and let her do that one again.
Okay. I'm serious. It's like they like the idea of the pure one, but they want that hot girl in the red stilettos.
It's called the Madonna-Whore complex.
Listen.
Thank you.
You misunderstand. We're high status men. We just have both.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Nobody came after me. Really? Is that it?
I think you like the idea of the conquest or the idea of this person is pure, but you like the hottie. You guys have proved it over and over and over again. Look at the wall behind you.
Well, you also said the first girl has to be young and hot. Why can't the older girl be hot and be really good in bed?
That could happen too. So just control for hotness.
By the way, I have no problem with that either way.
Guys, I mean, I just tell you, like, the reason I used to think, like, why are these things all red flags? Like when Rich Cooper in his book, he talks about the 21 red flags. I was like, man, most of these seem like red flags, but some of them I just don't care that much about the red flags, tattoos, whatever. And then I realized it's because I had no interest whatsoever in getting married.
Yeah,
I wanted to have sex with lots of women.
All of the red flags
none of these things, they were green flags to me. I was like, excessive amounts of drinking, tattoos in weird places, tongue rings. I'm like, these were just green flags for sex.
I know.
And I did not care about being in a relationship. And so because of those things, I didn't see them as red flags at all. And so now, yeah, maybe what you're saying is true. But
listen, I'm going to say something controversial. The men, the women that these men call the 304s and the hoes or whatever, those women, men created. And this is how men created them. Your obsession with the quote-unquote hoe. Porn is $1 billion industry. Yes. So is the strip game. So is the sex industry. You guys chase those women to the point where even the pure ones are running around looking like hoes. They're like, oh, this is what you like? Well, this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to give you. And now it's out of control and you don't like it anymore. Now you're getting your passport and you're running, where's the pure one? No, this is the one you
literally made a TikTok saying exactly that.
This is the one you wanted.
The OnlyFans girls. But who's paying the OnlyFans girls?
These guys.
I promise you, not the lesbians or the straight girls.
The ones throwing the ones in the chat. That's who's paying. The ones throwing the ones in the chat.
Females buying OnlyFans.
This is probably the 112th time I've heard this argument. Okay,
it's true. It's not an argument. It's factual.
They're the first ones that will call you
factual in this. Okay, yeah, of course. I'm sure there's people in the chat are doing that right now. But the problem with this is it's cyclical. It's a feedback loop, is what it is. It's supply and demand. If there was no demand, there would be no supply. If there was no supply, there would be no demand. It's who is starting what, who has the responsibility to stop it. And you'll notice that it's never put on the woman to stop the loop. It's always put on the man to stop the loop.
Because it's easy money for them.
And by the way, it's not, and that's not necessarily women's fault, because there are men who will say exactly the same thing you're saying right now, except they will be the Puritans. They'll be the ones, the churchy guys. They'll be the ones who say, well, if men could just keep their dicks in their pants, then we wouldn't have these OnlyFans girls. Bullshit.
I don't think
that. Because that's not how the machine was evolved to be. Men get hard-ons. We want to have sex. That's what we're about. Men's innate, natural, evolved mating strategy is unlimited access to unlimited sexuality. You know what delivers that to the common man today? Porn.
Okay, so you go back to like medieval time. Pillaging and raping. If you didn't agree to it, they were going to take it.
Right.
Women have always had less opportunity job-wise, so they had to be the stay-at-home wife and mother, and they had no choice.
You're talking about before 1974. 1972.
I know you are not talking about going back in time when you all the time talk about caveman mentality shit.
I'm just saying, women actually probably have a little bit more opportunity than men, employment-wise, now than they did.
Employment-wise, I'm not even getting into it, but I'm saying the supply and demand. The supply and demand comes all the way back.
Right. If you want to stop that loop, it has to be both. It has to be both.
I agree with you. I agree with you 110%. But I don't want to stop that. I don't want to stop it. I would like to. What I would like to see stop is men pretending that they don't prefer the hoe. That's what I would like to see stop. Like go out, be hoes, and
like
go
that
like
whole following on Instagram.
I think there's a different place. I think it's a different place. Like even the guys who call them 304s would still have sex with them. Like, they're not saying that they would.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's
like the whole thing about Stephanie. You're calling Stephanie all these ugly names, but then all of a sudden her
who's Stephanie? I call Stephanie
Palmer's. No, not you.
Not me. Okay,
not you. People on the thing were calling Palomares a hoe and all these disgusting things and talking about her looks and that. But then all of a sudden she has like how many more new followers?
She got 1,200 new paying followers.
And I bet you half those people were there.
I mean, I've seen even the quote unquote pure girls wanting to run around. We
really got to stop using the word pure.
Okay, what word? Because I'm using their
inexperience.
Loyal.
Okay,
Let's just say loyal.
Loyal.
Yes.
Okay.
Like devotion.
All right, devoted.
Wait,
the
because
devoted
when you put
women.
let me tell you why I have a problem with the word purity. I said this on the last show. Is and this is not on you. I hear guys saying exactly the same thing. Like they're saying like, women sell purity. No, they fucking don't. They sell loyalty. They sell fidelity. They sell devotion. They sell natural innate desire for that man if that man measures up to his burden of performance. It is not about purity. It is knowing with certainty that the baby that comes out of your womb is going to be my fucking kid, and you're not going to cuck me. You're not going to fight. You're not going to go off on go out and find the guy, find the homeless guy, have sex with him, have his baby, and now I got to take care of the baby, right?
Right.
So that goes back to your caveman days. So how do we put this into a social sense? We say, well, a pure woman is a woman who doesn't do that. Okay, well, what is that? That is have my babies. Do what you said. Do what you goddamn say you're going to do, and because when men and women come together, there's a trade-off between their mating strategies. I have to give up my access to like have multiple women, and to like I have to forsake. It's in the wedding vows. Forsaking all others till death do us part, for richer or for poorer. So if suddenly I got money and suddenly I get poor, you're still on board with me.
Update the vows. Update the vows.
For sicker or for this is why I said, what is marriage today? Because the reason why you're saying that is because today we're like, well, I don't know if that works for me anymore. Right. Richer or for poor. Sickness and in health. If I get a big old goiter on my fucking neck, you're going to stick around and you're going to be with me and while I get this taken care of, right? That's what those assurances were for. So for men, it was, I'm going to give up all of these access, all of my opportunity to go and bang other women because I'm going to parentally invest in just you because I think I love you. I'm going to stick by with you no matter what till death do us part because God said it, or whatever your personal beliefs are about it. And the baby's going to, the only thing that I want to know, my only thing, my one caveat in all of this, I'm going to take care of you, do whatever I'm supposed to do as a man. I just got to know one thing. The fucking kid is my kid that comes out from between your legs when it happens. So that is purity in a nutshell, but it's really fidelity. It's forsaking all others. I'm not gonna be with any other man at the end of the day. So it's not about, if we can call it purity if you want to put it in a religious sense, but what is purity? It comes down to fidelity, loyalty, devotion, and you're trustworthy.
Right, but I'm talking about aesthetics right now. I'm talking about the girls that I'll just use purity for lack of a better word. You want them to look like
a good girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Even those girls are running around looking like the quote-unquote hoe. We have all these rappers that act like strippers. None of them ever stripped except for Cardi B.
Yeah.
None of them have ever stripped.
True.
They're all on stage twerking and dancing for dollars. So I really do feel that is the world that men built. Now everybody's a hoe. Now what?
Okay.
Now you're looking for a wife again.
So
it's not how it works.
I think you're half right. I'll tell you the other half of this is that it's also the economy, the sexual economy between women. So a woman has to compete. If she's going to compete with, if the good girl is going to compete with the hoe, she's got to be that. Just add a little bit of hoe to her act. So
just a little sprinkle.
So because what it is it's escalation. How can I advertise myself so that I am more appealing to the guys that I want to get with? Well, this hoe's got all these girls over here. So if I hoe it up just a little bit more, then it becomes an escalation. So it's yes. Do guys want to get with that? They do. But women also see that as a form of competition amongst each other.
But why don't they just sit since men want that woman that looks pure? Why doesn't she just sit back and just take all the men that want that pure woman?
Would you like to
why
know?
doesn't she have options? She should have options because that's what men claim they want.
Yes.
So why doesn't she just sit back with all her options?
Because they want her as the main. They want her as the main, and they want the hoe as a side piece. That's why.
Which is what she was saying.
Yep. Yeah.
Isn't that what she just said?
Well, okay. Now let me explain something else to you here. So you've got. Remember we were talking about clothes on his end, clothes on her.
Yes.
All those formats. And I was actually asked Jody. I said, what's your situation like? Well, it's like mine, right? I know what cheating is in my marriage, and she does too. Okay. And I know what's expected of me, and she knows what's expected of her. Now there are other people. I'm not going to mention names. Who it is open on his end and closed on any of the girls that are on the outside, his soft soft harem, let's just say. He's got his O's, right? And they always have a main. There's always one girl who's like, you're my queen. Just these girls aren't important to me. They're just that the sex act is one, because men can separate the sex act from the emotional investment. Okay. So, but there's still the guy. And this is why I always have a problem with this. There's still the guys who say, I'm married. Like when I hear Destiny say he's married, I'm like, no, you're not fucking married. You're just fucking around. You are not in a marriage, at least in a traditional sense.
You're fucking around with paperwork.
You're just fucking around.
You got paperwork, but you're still
fucking around with paperwork.
I don't even know why they call it marriage. It really should be called something else because I think the word marriage represents something traditional. So to use the name is...
So tradition or convention, the idea is this: is that guys still want that main. They still want their baby mama. They still want that woman to be home to have the home cooked meal, and it's even better if she's really fun in bed. But then guys who will say, "Oh, a high value man can cheat," like Kevin Samuels or anybody else will say the same thing. And I've always been of the opinion, like, why would you have a main? Why would you want to have some sort of baby mama or some sort of main girl that you keep coming back to while you're fucking around with that girl? Why don't you just make that one girl part of the girls that you're spinning plates?
Do you think it's conditioning, though? Do you think it's conditioning?
It's because men on some level, like lizard brain level of consciousness, still want to have a woman who would be a good mother for their children, that they can provide, that they want to be invested in, but they want to stick with that one girl and then still have the options to interbreed with other women while they can come back to that one girl that they are invested in, and that's where their kids are. Now, in the conventional sense, in my sense, in your sense, that's one man, one woman. We don't cheat. That's when it's the nuclear family. Today, that's all up for grabs right now. Anybody
so hence the modern woman, and the modern woman was born.
But see, the innate, the evolved nature of men is that we want to fuck women. We want to. That's why you want to know why porn is a multi-million-dollar juggernaut, and there's 4K streaming free porn anytime. We can go watch Lena the Plug right now if we want to.
I think that's what we're going to do at the end of this.
Maybe
hey, you know what we should do? Hey guys, who would be down for this? Guys, put a one in the chat. If we all just watch the Lena the Plug scene right now. We all watch the Lena the Plug scene right now. You just see our reactions on camera. You guys want us to do that? Here we go. I'm going to pull up the Lena the Plug scene. Keep talking. Here we go.
I refuse.
I kind of want to see.
Haram.
I kind of want to know.
But I was going to say, I think that they're on some level of consciousness, men want to have children, but they also want to know that the child is theirs. That's why they have that one main that they're going to be parentally invested in, and they still want to screw around on the sides, right? Women, on the other hand, they've got to find the balance between the hot guy who's good for the short-term genetic benefits. He's the hot, fun guy that you want to fuck. It doesn't matter if he's homeless. It doesn't matter. He's just got to have good DNA. It's got to be fun in bed, and he pays the rent with his dick, right?
Right.
Okay, because you're already paying the rent with everything that you've done with your money and your business and everything else. So when that guy still wants to, Jesus Christ. No, my eyes. This is distracting. This is a challenge. This is a test. But long story short, for women, hypergamy means they're looking for the best sexual experience they can get, just like that, and they're also looking for the best long-term security benefits in that guy. Though that rarely exists in the same guy. That's why you get to fuck the homeless guy, and then you go, you know what? Maybe it was fun while it lasted, but now I need a man with some benefits now. Okay, so
you see these benefits right here. You see these benefits? Look at that. That's the benefits. You see this?
She's thick.
Why does it rarely happen though? Why can't the? That's a big man.
That's
a big man.
That's what I'm saying.
She's either tiny or he's humongous.
That's a big
man.
I'm scared.
Why does it rarely exist in one man? Why is it that the hot guy never has any money, and then the guy with money is not hot?
Because you don't. First of all, you don't expect it, right? And the guy that's fun to fuck was probably when you were younger, right? He was a guy that was between the ages, say, like 18 and 28. You're looking for a different guy than what you're looking for when you're 29, 30, 31 years old. Because now you're like, oh, I had my fun. I was so crazy in college, but now I'm going to get right with God, and now I'm going to go and change my mind about everything. And this guy, you better jump through these hoops. I mean, I've got these rules for you, and you better love your mom and like puppy dogs and want kids and have a good education and love your mom, love your family, come from a good family, have a good job. All this laundry list of criteria now. But the problem is that usually happens right around 29, 30, 31 years old. And now you're being cycled out of that sexual marketplace while the next crop of 21-year-olds are coming in.
I want to know about the Margot Robbie thing.
You want to?
What is
Let
that?
While you guys are enjoying the Lena the Plug video over there.
I didn't see it. I heard the guy was big.
I didn't see it either. Let me see.
He's
a big guy.
I'm gonna read through this right quick. Can you put my screen up on the? I promise you won't see anything.
He's not gonna play. Yeah. He's not gonna pay for that.
Right.
He is not gonna pay to see that video.
This is Margot Robbie up here. This is when she was 23 years old, and she was in
Wolf of Wall Street.
She was Wolf of Wall Street. Okay, she was also played Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. Yeah. Okay, so you know who we're talking.
Don't say that word.
You do know. Okay, well, Suicide Squad is a movie. Okay, so I can. It's a title. It's a proper name. So this is her at 23, and this is Margot Robbie at. I don't know if I can blow this up a little bit more here for you. This is her at 33. The powers that be in Hollywood have decided that at a 33-year-old Margot Robbie is the perfect casting for the new Barbie movie.
I mean, if they put makeup on her, I promise you won't be able to tell the difference.
I mean,
by the way, let me say this one, because I know a lot of red pill guys are going to think I'm full of shit. Margot Robbie is a phenomenal actress. Forget about the fact that she's really attractive in Wolf of Wall Street. You should see some of the other stuff she's done. I was an actor for 2 years. I can tell when people are shitty and when people are great. She is fucking awesome. Yeah. And I've seen her. The same thing happened with, I can't remember who the other girl was that was like super pretty in one movie, and then you see her plain. A lot of these actresses, the reason why they have such plain faces is because you can do different stuff with them. You can mold them to different. Yeah. You don't want a super. Anna Paquin is a great example from True Blood. Super plain face, so you can make her hot or you can make her not. And I think Margot Robbie is.
So I'm gonna read you this. I actually read this on my other cast, but I think it runs this whole thing down better. Margot Robbie was cast as Barbie because she isn't pretty enough to alienate a female audience.
Wow.
A polarizing take, and that landed at number 2 on Twitter's trending topics just yesterday, and made half the user base lose their effing minds. Here's why. Let's see. Casting of the role of Barbie is specific. Barbie is the archetypal California girl, tan, blonde, thin. In fact, she was the most hated icon of like militant feminism of the late 60s and early 70s. Everybody, in fact, it was an insult to call somebody Barbie. Now apparently it's not, right? She's the epitome of the bikini-clad bimbo hotness. There were other actresses who better fit the bill, but the studio chose Robbie instead, pointing out that a 33-year-old Margot Robbie didn't fit the bill for a real-life Barbie doll. Enraged female Twitter users who called the criticism unhinged, and those who agreed both gay and incels, because they had actually pointed out the fact that a 33-year-old Margot Robbie could not compete in the same sexual marketplace as the 23-year-old Margot Robbie. That's what was being pointed out, and women don't like to have that pointed out to them. Is Margot Robbie still in the top 5% of conventionally attractive women at 33 years old? Is beauty immutable, or does sexual attraction diminish with age? And that's the reminder of all of this here. So, again, could you find a hotter girl than Margot Robbie by clicking through Instagram for a few minutes, or walk around a college campus, or go into any sorority house?
But they can't act. Like, if you've seen,
can they act?
Who was the girl from Married with Children who was in Anchorman?
Christina Applegate.
Christina Applegate without makeup on looks so insanely different. Like the things that they could do. I'll bet you they could make Margot Robbie look any way they wanted on these films.
And I'm sure they'll probably use CGI. But like, as beautiful as Margot Robbie is, she still has flaws. Mm-hmm. She's not like the absolute epitome, most beautiful woman on the planet.
She's not 1994 Selma Hayek. Barbie. She's not like perfect.
She's not Barbie.
But does she really need to be though?
Well, of course, everyone.
She's not Kelly Hu from Scorpion King. She's not.
See,
perfect.
That's the thing. Is like, so I was pointing. I'll read the rest of this here in a second. But I was pointing out the fact that the same people who have a huge problem with a light-skinned black girl playing the Little Mermaid. That casting right there they were happy about that. But when Margot Robbie is
she's a white girl, that's why.
Well, yeah, it's true. But if you had a problem with one and not, if you had a problem with her and not with the other, it's the same dynamic right there. It's still a miscasting of what the character was. Hey, so is Margot Robbie Barbie?
Hey, do you know?
It's not a miscasting. It's how they're explaining the casting.
Because but Barbie was hot. Like the point of Barbie is to be hot.
There is a California girl It's not about her being completely different than the original.
But is she being cast to pander to women who don't want to be reminded of the fact that they can still be 33 years old and still be a Barbie who is effectively 23 years old?
I think
I think you're reading too much into it.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the same to me.
I think that honestly, I think the point of Barbie, it's very feminist in nature. Have you seen the trailer? It's very feminist in nature.
I can't wait to go see it.
Oh yeah,
No, it's literally,
And it looks like it's adult.
I probably will.
Like there's a lot of adult kind of jokes.
Do you guys
in it.
know why I didn't care about the what's it called, the Little Mermaid thing?
What?
Because I'm not a gay dude watching Little Mermaid.
Exactly.
Why the fuck do I
know.
care about the Little Mermaid? I think it could make her
Exactly.
purple. What the fuck? You really gave that much of a shit? Because I don't care.
I will
By the
have- I do have to point something
Captain
else out.
Marvel. You remember how they were all mad
Yeah.
because she was she was an Air Force officer. Of course she was a badass. That's exactly why. Salute. Cross into the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more. It's in my opinion. I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, this is some feminist shit. Like, Barbie and the
What is
Barbie
it?
girls
Yeah.
are basically saying we can do whatever Ken can do, and then what would Ken think? Ken thinks is that type of vibe.
I'm excited to watch
That's
it.
original.
I'm excited to watch
Wait,
it.
it really did that?
No, it's that type of vibe. Like,
Oh, the
it's like
movie.
Ken,
That's what kind of movie
the
it is.
trailer.
Like a dark comedy.
Yeah.
I think Barbie as a dark comedy would be incredible.
It's
We
more.
should wrap
It's
it up.
more about
Can we
women power.
Can we knock out the final super chats and then we'll clean it up here?
Okay.
Can we go ahead? Oh, by the way, Stephanie had to leave. She had a family thing that she had to go to, but she wanted to say bye to everybody. Go ahead.
Okay, so there was from Jonathan Mitchell. He actually put in $200.
Hey,
he goes, "How do
There
you
you
want
go.
to be remembered? If so, if not?
Wait, what was the question?
What?
How do you want to be remembered?
How do you want to be remembered? If so, or if not?"
Okay, so one more time, Grammarly.com. Grammarly.com.
How do you want to be? How do you want to be remembered?
Okay, how do I want to be remembered? I want to raise probably a couple million for animal rescue, troops overseas, and homeless children. Because at least like the left and the right can't come after me for the homeless children. That's the only thing. So that's what I want to do.
I want to be remembered for my body of work, for this, what I've done over the course of a lifetime, not just trophies on the shelf. For for helping people with that work, for being having an obligation to objective truth.
There you go.
And to die in a flaming car crash listening to Slayer going 65 miles an hour in a very fast car.
The thing,
Death or glory.
The thing for me is that's what I want to be known for. What I will be known for are these fucking flat Earth debates
Yes,
that I keep doing.
those are going to stick with you for-
my
the digital
grandchildren-
footprint, you got
my
it.
grandchildren will watch me debating flat Earthers. That's the thing I will be known for in the end. Cool. Dude, let's go through. Let's knock these out. What else do we have?
So Crypto Keeper, two of them for $4.99. The first one says, Mike, what do you guys earn on each percentile? The fall into cash wise, i.e., top 20, 10, 1% of man. How much do men make according to the women?
Okay, yeah. So real quick, I understand what the question is. Ladies, real quick, the top 10% of men make how much? What do you think?
How much money?
Jen? Just say a 3-digit number, real quick, or 4-digit.
The top
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Per year.
6-digit or
Per year.
7-digit.
Per
Sorry,
year.
per year.
I would say 50,000.
50,000, the top 10% of men. What do you think?
Oh no, top 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, top 10%.
Oh, 8 figures.
Do you think they make 10 million or more? What do you think?
$500,000?
No, that's 10 million.
The top
10 million,
10%
top
of
10%.
men?
What do you think?
500.
500,000. What do you think?
120,000.
What do you think? Top 10% of men.
800 or more.
Cool. It's 173,000. What about the top 1% of men? What do you think they make?
Top 1%?
Yeah.
675,000.
What do you
Top 1%?
Top 1% of men.
It has to be 7 figures.
Okay, so $1 million.
Yeah, it has
Okay,
to
what do you think, Joey?
Over 2 million.
Over 2 million. What do you think?
$1 billion.
$1 billion. Top 1% of men make $1 billion. Okay, go ahead.
God damn, I got some making up to do.
675,000.
670,000. What do you think?
800,000.
It's about $450,000. Yeah. So there's a lot of women out there that think I'm going to get a man who makes $800,000 a year.
Wait,
That
you
is
said 1%?
Yeah, like you're talking less than like a quarter of 1% of men make
CJ
$800,000
Sparks
a year.
is looking for a fraction of that 1%.
For sure,
with $5 million.
For sure. The first time I paid a 6-figure fucking tax bill to the IRS, I could not believe.
Yes.
I was sitting there calling my
We
account
have
like,
had
is this
that
real?
conversation.
This can't fucking be real.
Is this real?
This can't be real, But that's the thing. Like, you just don't. You take these things for granted, like how much. And being in Las Vegas also does that to you because you're sitting there at a table that's $100K at Drake, at Excess, or you're at fucking Omnia with Steve Aoki, and like every table there's at least $20K, and every guy there does make a lot of money.
I get it.
Well, that's your first mistake, or not yours, but that's most people's first mistake is looking for a man that qualifies himself by money.
Yeah.
Well, and also most of these women, you say, how much you expect a man to spend on your wedding ring? Is that like the little
It's like 3 months salary or some shit like that.
It's what
No.
traditionally
But
what it
most
was.
women are like, 100,000 or this much. I'm like,
Oh, good Lord.
you are delusional. You don't even understand the value of a dollar at this point.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Next one, again from Crypto Keeper, $4.99. Mike, what's the minimum income a man would need to have for each of these ladies on the panel? Could you go around the table?
How much would it have
We
to
don't
make?
have time for that.
No.
We don't have time
Ashley,
for that.
minimum income.
What was the question?
What's
Sorry.
the minimum income for a guy to date you?
I make $70K, so I feel like a 2-person household, 60 at least.
Okay. Katrina.
I've been asked this before, and there's not like a number, but I want them to make more than me, and I would want them to make probably about $300K.
300K?
Yeah.
Because you're a successful real estate agent.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead. Jody.
Definitely not a number, but they definitely have to be equal or
They
more.
don't have
Yeah.
to. They just need to provide a certain level of energy, a vibe, a vibe of. It's not a type. It's not an amount of money. It's a vibe
I'm
of
just
money.
saying, if I have a really good year and I'm making $500,000, he better
We
make
already know what
$500,000. You know
Jen's
I mean?
going to say.
Right.
He could be broke, right?
No. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
He could be broke.
Stay out of my DMs if you live on the beach. If you live on the beach, I would say I can't put a number on it, but I would say whenever I ask for something, I don't want to hear the word no. So whatever that bracket is, and also if you paying tons of money for child support, leave me the hell alone.
Okay, so she can have.
So no single fathers.
She can have the preference. Go ahead, keep going,
She's
Coco.
not talking shit about the
Keep
single
going,
dad.
keep going, Coco.
I'm not. I just
Coach,
don't want.
Coach Swissy, $4.99.
I
You're
feel
talking
offense.
about the Chris Brown situation where the woman sat on a chair.
Totally, Chris Brown. It was not Usher. My fault. Keep going.
Fly Cisco, $49.99. He says, as a 5'3" man, women go for the 6'2" man, and that's okay. But then 10 years later, they're open to all height. But if a short guy doesn't want to commit years later, it's bad.
That's not true.
All right, keep moving.
Okay, keep going.
Sylvester Toe Jr., $4.99. Ladies, would you lose respect for your man if he let you sleep with another man, even if it means a big payday? Shout out to Jesse.
Yes.
Anybody?
Yes.
Anybody be okay
Yes.
with this?
I met a
I'd
couple
lose
and I think it
respect.
was disgusting, and I stopped talking to him immediately.
Wow.
And he was 6'7", and he had a good job.
Jody.
Yeah, no.
Okay, keep going.
Crypto Keeper, $1.99. One. He says, I think it was based on when you said like put in a one or something.
Yeah.
He goes, also married men buy OnlyFans too.
Yes, married men will buy OnlyFans. Okay, keep going.
And then on Rolos, there is from Modern Life Dating.
Hi, John. How are you?
He just says hi.
Howdy. Thank you for your.
John's got that.
Thank
John's
you for
got
your
money,
50
y'all.
yens. Yeah.
John's got money, y'all. This
then we're
Japanese
good on
women be competing
supers.
for John.
Yes.
Keep going. Wait,
We're good on supers.
Hold on. Did you get mine? Hold on. Let me
Yeah,
see.
you did. She was just.
Yes, you did. Is that it? Okay,
Yeah,
cool. We
that's
got
us.
it. All right, ladies, can we get one closing thought from each one of you?
Yeah.
Let's start with Katrina Riznova.
A closing thought.
Yeah,
I
what
guess.
did you enjoy this? What were any thoughts you have or anything you want to promote?
I just think that from our very first conversation, I think that people should communicate better about their boundaries up front. And like how you guys said, when it clicks, and
Yeah.
it shouldn't be this hard.
But you
to
mentioned,
make things.
are you looking for a dude right now?
I've been single for 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just haven't met anyone who's
Who's
swept me off my
swept
feet.
you off your
world,
feet,
yeah.
swept you off your feet because and then you also make it $300,000 a year. Got it. I got it. Makes sense. All right, guys, slide in the DMs. There you go. What about Barry? What do you think? You have any closing thoughts?
No, I just find it very interesting, going through these subject matters that you pick up.
Yeah.
And
He was a
and
good
what you
guest,
just said.
man. I was going to say that.
No, I didn't say that.
No, I mean,
No, you're a good guest. You're a good guest.
a good guest. Yeah.
But no, it's just been very interesting listening to all your commentary.
This is what I do for a living now, Barry.
This is us.
Yeah, no.
I whore myself out to a microphone.
No, but for a guy who I've got 4 grandsons, okay, at various ages, and one has already graduated college and working full time, and and I see how they're all growing up.
There you go. You can give him that.
Okay.
Rollo's book.
That's mine.
I see how they're all growing up, and it's and they're in a bubble. I mean, Vegas is a bubble. It's a different kind of bubble.
For sure.
Yep.
So if you have the same conversation in Columbus, Ohio, it's going to be a different conversation.
Right. Denise and Idaho.
So, but it's all interesting.
It's all context. Girl.
Oh, me. Hello. Closing statement.
Statement. You didn't get elected if that's what you're worried about.
Hello, my name is. I don't know. Oh, okay, I do actually know. Most of you men in these chats, you guys want to talk mess, but most of you guys are not ready for a real relationship because you probably make $10 an hour, which is okay.
They make more.
But you want to talk mess.
No, it really isn't.
It's not. If yourself living on your mom's couch, it's okay.
Basement boy.
But you can't talk mess about somebody else that you want to receive and talk down to us, calling us 304s if you can't even.
If you can't even deadlift 370, you should not be talking shit to us. Is that what you're saying?
Say, I'll take you one day in the mines. You won't last.
Yep. Oh. There we go. That's it.
Closing thought for me, making the world a place where if you say you're gonna do something, do it. If you want to see a change, make a change. I don't know. Be a kind person. If you want to be remembered for something, be remembered for something good.
Align your chakras.
Align your chakras.
Open your third eye. Go ahead.
Okay, I am on the block with Jen on YouTube. It is on the block with Jen, not Jen on the block. My parting thoughts is men, I understand why you're angry, but I think men and women need to understand that we are reared, conditioned, and raised different. Women are raised to close their legs and be princesses and be cute, and men are raised to conquer the world. When those two people come together, it is tornado, volcano, because we're raised completely different. And I think that's something you should consider. And I think for the ladies, Rolo, something you said, we have to be self-aware. Right.
Insight.
Right. Insight. We have to have insight. It helps a relationship tremendously when you can go to a man, you know what I mean, unprompted and say, I'm sorry, I apologize, I was projecting. That's all I got for now.
Hey, and all I have to say is if volcanoes are real, then the fucking earth is round. Thank you.
And there ain't no hollow earth.
Dunked on. Yes. Sorry. Go ahead,
there
Jody.
Don't you know about the firmaments?
Go on Bumble.
Go on Bumble?
Yeah. There it is.
Is that where you get the good ones?
Is that where the attorneys are?
That's where you find the good ones?
That's where I found my husband.
Michael.
So there's some good catches.
Not seeking arrangement.
Wow.
Michael, you mentioned, you asked the girls, what do you want to be remembered by? You didn't ask me.
Oh, yeah. What do you want to be remembered by, Barry?
A lot of things that I've done in my life, which is crazy. But I am currently, and hopefully everything falls into place, making a movie about my mother's life. And hopefully it gets made, and hopefully you'll all see it, because it's a story of a battered wife got married at age 15, who left Detroit because it was cold, flipped a coin, heard Florida was warm and California was warm, and with her 5-year-old son, my older brother, moved to Hollywood and did a lot of things, but became one of the most beloved women in all of Hollywood, was a major dress designer, and back in those days, she did things that nobody ever did. She was honored by the President of the United States for hiring the handicapped. She created Handicap Week. She raised millions of dollars for charity. She would, at age 85, go down to the homeless shelter downtown to teach women how to dress and put on makeup. She loved people. She raised money for sickle cell during the times when people were marching in Selma, and Martin Luther King was on her dinner committee, and in her dress business that she created, she hired, back in those days, Marilyn Monroe, Mitzi Gaynor, Debbie Reynolds, Elizabeth Taylor, to model for her, because models were not plentiful at those days. And she became an amazing cook, and she'd throw Hollywood parties, and they all had to perform at her parties. And people like Sidney Poitier would come over for his peach pie, who she made for him. And it's a story of, women empowerment, that a woman can do anything. Back in the day when she was told, you can't do this, okay? And she did it all, and married her 4th husband. By the way, after 3 years, she divorced her 3rd husband. And when people asked her, why did you ever marry that guy? He was a drunk. She said it was the best sex she ever had.
There it is. There it is.
It comes full circle.
All right, so the whole thing is we brought it all the way back, and the main thing is love your mom. Just love your mom. Shout out to my mom who didn't do any of that shit.
Is the story is will be called Spirit of Life, because she was honored by City of Hope with the Spirit of Life Award. And it pertains to her life. So
I hope we get
I'd
to
like
see
to
it.
be remembered by that getting made, because I think it might change people's lives.
I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
Do you have anything coming up?
Yeah, this show again. I finally go. Mama, I'm coming home. I've been here for 10 days because
Wow.
we did Zerka's interview on the such as it was on Sunday. We did the flat Earth debate. That's out now. Or you're gonna about.
Mine's coming out at noon tomorrow, so I
Right.
want you guys to please
We also
check it out.
We also did kind of like a table talk with Zerka as well. That's
I got 66,000 views in 5 hours.
Yes, I'll be reposting that on my side as well. So we've done a lot of content. I've also released 2 short form videos today because we're working with a different studio that's out here at Jade Apartments. Really great place where we shot with Zerka. Shout out to Jabrizi. Thank you for allowing us to use that studio and just being a good, a wonderful host. Thanks, man. I want to get him on the show as well. Who are we going to have here next week on July 20th? We're going to have Sharp.
We're going to have Sharp from No Jumper. So
we'll have a lot of questions for him.
He's going to talk about that. We have a bunch coming up. I believe we're going to have Coffee and Cleavage on the August 3rd. I got to make sure that they can come, and then we're going to try to have. Adam Sosnick on Access Vegas on the 10th of August. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that. Just going back to what you said, I did the ESPYs party a couple of days ago. We have the 2 interviews with Zerka that are on my channel right now. The second one's about to come out at noon. They're blowing up. I can't believe how many flat earthers that follow. Well, the thing about Zerka that's different from other flat earthers is that most of his audience don't think the Earth is flat. So a lot of them agreed with me, but that was pretty cool to watch. Right now, it's going to be next week or in 2 weeks. We are going to go to Los Angeles on the 25th to do whatever podcast. On the 26th, I am hosting Swimsuit USA's Los Angeles preliminary. This is Barry's preliminary that's going to be there. He's going to pick a Miss Los Angeles. On the 27th, it is going to be Babes in Toyland Support Our Troops. We're going to be supporting troops overseas with care packages.
Nice.
We have a bunch of people with red, white, and blue outfits for that one. On the 28th will be the second round of the $60,000 Girls of Summer bikini competition at Wet Republic. After that, that's on the.
I promise I'll be at that one.
Yes, for sure.
I couldn't make the list.
On the 2nd, as of right now, tentatively, I am going to Fort Lauderdale, and it's going to be me and Destiny tentatively debating Nick Fuentes on
anybody else
on Adam Sosnick's show. So maybe
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, we're going to have a discussion about that whole thing. So that tentatively, that's what's going to happen. And then later on, PBD and Adam Sosnick will be here in Las Vegas for 10 days. Justin Ross Lee is coming on my podcast on the 17th. I already have, what's his face? I'm sorry. The Brad Lee podcast came out, just doing absolutely phenomenal. I have Rich Sheffrin, the guy who created the automated webinar. And you guys know who Neil Patel, the king of SEO. He's coming on my podcast. His episode comes out in a couple of weeks. So I have a bunch of really great guests coming up.
Right. And last but not least, we did a show with Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes, and
that's with their people right now. It will be approved. Most likely, it could be coming out this week. So look for that. We'll put that on the Access Vegas site. If you're watching the Access Vegas new channel that's out. And by the way, we are also on Rumble now. We just started our own Rumble channel.
Yeah, you can make jokes about that guy who ran Germany in 1939 on Rumble.
Yeah, you can do it all you want. You can say all those words you couldn't say.
You can say all the words you couldn't say on here. They won't kick you off for shit on Rumble.
And you were in with Robert as well,
yes.
So you'll be featured in that as well.
Beautiful.
So that's coming up.
One last thing, guys. There is no excuse. All of you, if you message me on Instagram, I will give you access to my school server. It will have the schedule for every single thing I just mentioned. It will have the 30 book MOA book list. It will have Instagram testimonials for all the guys in Men of Action who've improved their life, and it will have my free first 4 steps of Men of Action. My free course is in there also. It takes about a week to get through. It's a pretty long course, and it's all completely free. Please message me on Instagram, and I will give you access to our free school server. Anything else?
Is that for this show? Thank you guys for showing up, and we will see you guys next week.
Awesome. There you go, man. Beautiful. The earth is fucking round.
Yes.
I don't care what you say.
Hollow.
If maybe we could